DCU Daily. Here we are, Friday. Happy Friday. It's almost the weekend, and thank God it's Friday. So, let's get this true, lovely party started on this wonderful Friday, because we have to start with box office stuff, because Steven Spielberg's next epic Disclosure Day has come out, and we have to talk about it, what they did in previews yesterday, what they're kind of doing right now, globally, domestically, all the fun stuff. So we're going to be talking about that first, then a tiny bit of MCU Weekly, got some Secret Wars talk, then a little bit of Movie Talk Madness, got some deals going on, got some para-WB deals, and then DGA deals. So we're going to be talking about the deals, so many deals, so much interesting stuff that I'm sure you guys are very happy to talk about. Then we have quick hits, and as well as a little bit of a surprise for you. I hope you guys appreciate it. If you don't, then please let us know in the comments, but it's a new thing, so we're trying it out. Then we head into DCU Daily. Not a ton of news today, but some quick hits, some Batman, and some Supergirl. So, hope you guys enjoy. But until then, let the king tell us that we are indeed Knuff.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
Robert
You're
Downey.
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne. I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Corin's.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Hello. I am the host. I am the captain now. John, if you didn't know already, here I am. But I am not alone in this venture. We have Dan. Dan
Hello.
here. How you doing, bud? You doing
I'm
good?
I'm good.
That's good.
I'm good.
I'm glad
Thank
you're
you.
good. I'm glad you're good, because you know what else is good? Disclosure Day, kicking it off with 6.5 million in previews. I think that's pretty damn good. So it's making its way into the world a bit. I'm excited to see this. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I've heard pretty much every opinion about this movie, so I have no clue what the fuck to expect. I've heard people say it's cheeks. I've heard people say it's kind of mid. I've heard people say it's pretty good. And I've heard people call it a masterpiece. So I have no fucking clue what to expect. I don't know if this will be the next Last Crusade, or it's going to be in the bin with Sugarland Express and Always. So you know what? We're here for it. I like the unpredictability, and I am excited. So, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was gonna say it's really really good to see the numbers being as good as they are, because like I think going into it, we were kind of, I mean, it wasn't going to be $100 million opening, right?
Yeah.
I don't think the numbers are going to be anywhere close to that, but it doesn't mean that it's not, getting off to a great start. 6.5 million is very respectable for previews for a movie that is not like a big IP thing. It's basically an original film, and of course it's Steven Spielberg's next and Alien movie, a return to what he has always done best. So yeah, it's exciting to see that. I think that's a good number. It's one of the better numbers of the year. I did want to say hello to Monique. Fantastic Friday to you. Baked chicken breast, sour cream cucumber salad, honeydew melon. Wow.
I was actually excited because I had some cantaloupe melon, but today that I was gonna eat, but then my mom was getting ready to cut it. She picked it up out of the bowl, and the entire bottom was mold. And I'm like, I wanted some melon. So I'm glad somebody gets to enjoy some. I liked Honeydew more when I was a kid, but I think Cantaloupe is more flavorful than Honeydew has more of a subdued flavor. I'm more of a cantaloupe guy. That's my favorite fruit. By the way, I know
No, that's fair.
it's probably strange for someone like me, big titty fat guy over here being like, you eat fruit? Yeah, once in a while I do eat a fruit. So, crazy, I know. But here we are. I do like apples. I like bananas. So
no. I mean, hey, it's look, what I was gonna say is I had some Kit Kat ice cream. I had a Kit Kat ice cream cone. I'm kind of going backwards. Starting with the dessert. I made some mashed potatoes, and I actually, much like Monique, well, kind of like Monique, instead of chicken breasts, I baked like chicken leg quarters. So I actually feel like I'm almost on Monique's level today. I tried. It's great to see what you're up to, Monique. Hi, Kyle. He-Man was good. Want more? Did you see it, John? John did see it. I believe we did talk about it earlier in the week.
I did. I let him know in the chat. But yes.
Yeah.
He-Man was pretty fun. Pretty good. I did enjoy it. Not the greatest thing ever, but like it is what it is, and that's damn good. Like, I'm not saying, it is. No, I mean, like, it is what it sets out to do, and I think that's pretty friggin' good.
Hey, hit the like button, everybody. If you are here watching, then you appreciate
or even hit the like button if you think Tom King is garbage. Now the likes are going to explode because, Tom King is ass. So that'll bring the people in.
Not the only. Well, I want to say hello to Hunter Iggy. What is this? Is this true about season 2 of Penguin? We're gonna talk about it later in DCU Daily. But there's a question mark in the title for a reason. So stick around. But definitely we'll get into that. And hello, Terrence. Hopefully it's good. I'm seeing it tomorrow as well. Yeah, I'm gonna see it on Sunday, I believe. So we'll be talking about it on Monday's show. And then Liz will be on next week as well, and she'll tell us what she thought about it. Hello, M2G. I gave it a 7. It was uneven. Emily carried harder than I have ever seen someone carry a big budget film in my life. I have seen that Emily Blunt, like there were a couple of reviews I read where they were saying like Emily Blunt carried the movie or saved the movie. So
that's
you're not the first person I've seen talk about it in that with that perspective.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting. Like I've seen this a lot.
Thank you.
This is probably the most like popular take is that it's good, not great. That's pretty much what I've heard.
Yeah,
like
it's like Pedro Pascal from Wonder Woman 1984. Disclosure Day is good, but it can be better. And then he goes into the rest of it.
Yes, but I've heard a couple people say like it's 4.5, 5 stars. Less so with the mid and bad reviews, but like I watch. There's this guy I follow on Letterboxd who literally edited into his he had a review. He's saying this movie's cheek. Sorry, it sucks. And then he edited into his review, and he's like, "Why the fuck are people praising this fucking piece of shit? Fuck all of you." And I'm like, "Whoa, calm down." But he just got so mad that people liked this movie, and it just like, all right, goddamn, bro. Did Steven Spielberg go fucking go ape shit on your dog? Like, did it kick it across the football field or something? Because damn, bro, it's not that serious.
No, I think that's a little over the top. But what I will say is, Monique was saying cantaloupes are delicious. Yes, they are. Cantaloupes are delicious, as are leg quarters. They're yummy. So, but John, let's keep talking about Disclosure Day because that's what we're here to talk about right now. Not just the previews. Let's talk about how things are looking for the weekend. The trailers kind of give you a sense that the tone might be a bit uneven. I got the sense that again, it's that whole idea of like my concern with this movie is, without having seen it yet, that Steven Spielberg he's kind of at that point in his career now where he's got a particular way of making movies and he's got a particular perspective on certain things, right? And the later you go into your career, I mean, not too many filmmakers are still looking to completely innovate or to make a complete right turn with how they approach a subject matter. And it feels like Steven Spielberg is still approaching this movie with similar sensibilities. And again, without having seen the movie, I'm just talking about, based on how, all the behind the scenes featurettes, Steven Spielberg talking about the movie himself, as well as the trailers and all the marketing around it. It's like he's treating, this subject matter, this movie, as a continuation of, the messaging and, his way of, tackling UFOs and that whole subculture the way he did like decades ago. Whereas I feel like the
Yeah.
conversation has really shifted a lot in recent years. I mean, there was a headline about like Pentagon, releasing more of those UFO files with like actual like eyewitness accounts of stuff just today. So I mean, timely. But I'm not saying like this movie is going to be completely like outdated and defunct in terms of its tones or like themes by the time people see it. But like for example, hello, Greb, you're saying you saw it
Yeah.
today. It was okay. So like the popcorn meter I saw was in the 70s, right? But the opening weekend number is still not too bad. It looks like it's already made 30 million worldwide, which is the current number, and it's going to keep climbing as the weekend goes on. And now the US 3-day weekend is expected to hit around, was it 34 million, or was it was in the headline? Or
It
no,
says
oh yeah, 43
43.
million. I misread that. So 43 million. So it's already made 6.5 million domestically in preview. So it's already made 30 million internationally. By the end of the weekend domestically, it's going to be 43 million. So John, if you add all those numbers up, I feel like the whatever however much is going to make additionally internationally by the end of the weekend, as well as what it does domestically, you're probably looking at over $100 million opening for the movie, which is for a non-franchise original IP film, kind of like the Odyssey coming up, also from Universal Pictures. That's not a bad start. But like Greg is saying, it does feel outdated a little bit. So like I know you were gonna address that. So like what were you gonna say about like, again, it just feels like Steven Spielberg is still sharing his ideas that were maybe more relevant in the 80s and 90s, but not so much in the 2020s.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing, because my friend brought up a really good point of this. He's like, I think the reason why people don't like this movie very much, for the people that don't, is the fact that it's just not believable anymore. Because it's like, who gives a fuck about aliens? Like, why are we talking about the stars when we're living in like the most fucked up timeline imaginable? And it's like, honestly, we're hoping for aliens to like nuke us at this point. Like, it's just like,
There's a
because it's just like,
famous
and plus
sci-fi
with,
short
with
story
the
about that.
massive amount of like debate, it's like now people are gonna be like, if like we get disclosed to us that aliens exist, people like fucking half people are gonna be like, that's AI, that's fake. Like, it's, you know what it feels like? I like this movie, but I get why people don't like this ending. It reminded me like of the ending of Glass, where it's like clearly
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan wrote this in like the early 2000s, before the internet was super prominent and all that shit, and he has this like, oh, look at the proof that superheroes exist, yet most people be like, that's fake. Like, nobody, like, the only people that believe anything like that anymore to that extent are like boomers and elderly people on Facebook. Like, that's kind of what it is, unfortunately. Now I don't know a thing about this movie. Maybe it still is great despite this. Maybe I'll go against the grain, maybe I'll agree, I don't know, but that's like the vibe I'm getting of like, people just, it's just like, we're kind of in a place of like, who kind of cares about aliens anymore, unless it's like, fucking Independence Day 37 or whatever the fuck that Roland Emmerich is trying to do with that franchise. And he's like, oh my god, aliens are nuking us, blah, 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 all that shit.
The UAP, call them UAPs now. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People passionate about that, but I think there are probably a few people that are probably expecting more
early 2000s
of like
Rebel, yeah.
They're expecting one of two things or both things, of like, they're probably expecting more of like a run-of-the-mill alien invader movie, and they're probably not going to get that. And then two, it's also like they're probably expecting more of like a Cold War thriller, like the Ipcris File, 3 Days to the Condor, where it's like this fast, kind of like almost like a Bourne movie, where it's like the high stakes kind of action thriller, where it's like, oh, I gotta like bob and weave because I'm a whistleblower and I gotta do all this shit. So I can see that as well, but who knows? I don't know. I can't judge anything just yet, but I will say I'm still excited for this movie, despite what people are saying about it, negative and positive. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going in. Me and my mom are seeing it tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe this will be in the pantheon of greatness of Spielberg. Maybe it won't be. I don't know yet, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a great point. I would just, I mean, to just kind of add to that, I worry that it's gonna feel like Greb is saying that it's basically a movie that belongs, you know, 20 years in our past, but it's like with smartphones. It's kind of like this is the same concern I have with like at the X-Files. Like the X-Files, the new version, well, not the new version, like not the reboot. I do worry about the reboot that they're doing now, but it seems like they're trying to update that, like they did with Fringe, which was very X-Files-esque back in the day. But like remember when they brought back Mulder and Scully for like a couple of seasons with Chris Carter producing and showrunning? That X-Files felt like at times it was like, you know, they're making X-Files and trying to give us the feel of the 90s, except now they all have smartphones and the internet and stuff. And they kind of did a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff and, you know, addressing it within the scenes and like some meta commentary by Mulder and Scully. There was actually a really good AI episode in season 2 of that, which you guys should check out, of like the rehash of X-Files. Like it wasn't like a reboot, but it was like a continuation. But yeah, no, I mean the movie does. I've heard that it focuses on political issues beyond just the UAP community and like that part of the story. Well, the believability part of the climax, that's, hey, you know what, we're not going to ruin it, but it would be interesting. Yeah, it feels like if Arrival was made before Arrival, the movie really nailed it, Grab. Okay, so cool. Well, Arrival has already been made though. So on that front, I mean, look, it's going to be interesting because we will be able to then compare it, like we're doing a Mount Rushmore of these movies just this past Monday, whether Disclosure Day can live up to movies like Arrival and like, you know, other modern classics with, you know, talking about alien contact. Even Interstellar kind of is in the same, well, not exactly in the same, you know, category, but like you've had a lot of great modern day sci-fi, whether it plays into, you know, alien, you know, a UFO, a UAP, conspiracy theories, or otherwise. But I'm looking forward to, you know what, it's Steven Spielberg, it's Disclosure Day, it's UFOs or UAPs. This is the kind of shit I grew up loving.
I don't give a fuck. UAP.
No, I know.
Get out of here.
UAP. Isn't there like USP, which is like unidentified submersed phenomenon, which is like if they're in
fuck
water.
off. Stop making things more complicated. Get out of here.
Just saying. Anyway, let's keep on going. We got more box office news.
Michael has officially dethroned Bohemian Rhapsody to become the highest grossing music biopic of all time. So congrats to Michael. I mean, I think it is a slightly better movie. Not saying much, but, you know, it's, you know, congrats. It has apparently, you know, crossed the landslide with $911.9 million worldwide. So. Well,
this was something we talked about, I believe, a few days ago, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And at the time, it was like on the verge because it was like 11 million away from taking over that mark that Bohemian Rhapsody has had for several years now, where 911 million was the magic number. And, you know, here we are finally, and, you know, we've got a new king of the musical biopic box office, and that, of course, is
he was already the king Michael before Jackson. That, but yeah.
So yeah, yeah. All right, so I mean, 1 billion. I think, yeah, like Grab is saying, 1 billion is definitely on the way. Hello to Shahida. Nice to see you in the chat. But yeah, a highest-grossing musical biopic of all time. It's the fact that they're leaving it in theaters. It's great because it obviously is making money, and there's a big international audience for it as well, which is why it keeps chugging along. So. I know there's some movies in the recent past that have petered out just before they hit 1 billion. Like I think 2 big examples were Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and then more recently the Minecraft movie. Both petered out once they crossed the $950 million mark, but also both of them were released on streaming and digital by the time that was happening. So I feel like Lionsgate needs to keep their powder dry a little bit on that and just hold out for maybe another month. It's the peak summer holiday season. There's still going to be a lot of people that are going to want to go see it in theaters that maybe haven't had the chance to, or they want to go see it again because they saw it like, you know, weeks or months ago at this point. And much like what they did with Top Gun Maverick, which was a movie that played in theaters for like 5 months. I bet you like the Odyssey probably will have some kind of similar kind of a run that is going to be there until like Thanksgiving. Not in as many theaters as what it starts out, but it's got the potential to, you know, if they keep it around, you know, it may only tick along like a few billion here and there, like, you know, a few million here and there, maybe $1 million a week towards the end, but it's gonna get there, I think. And then you can do, there's like isn't there a big, is it Michael Jackson's birthday coming up? There's like a big event coming up that's related to like the Jackson lore that I feel like they can market around, and then hopefully like bring a big rush of audiences to come see it again. But I mean, John, at this point it's pretty much guaranteed they're gonna make a sequel. They teased it, and the money is there.
His story continues. Well, it's definitely will.
Yeah.
So
all right,
good.
Well,
for him.
and good for the king.
But
his death date is in 2 weeks. That makes sense. Okay, cool.
And now we get to the China's underdog box office. I can't talk today. Box office phenomenon. Dear You lands UK France release. So very nice. Family drama film.
Yeah, I saw this.
We'll
so
get something like Neja 2 or something like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's gonna be Neja 2 levels of money,
No,
but like John,
I know that, but like what I mean is just like
like for example, we were talking about Obsession. How much did they make that for? It was like $1 million, $2 million, something like that. Was it, or was it more than that? I feel like Obsession had a ridiculously like small budget, and then it got acquired.
750,000 to $1 million.
Exactly, not even $1 million.
Backrooms was I think 10 million.
10 million, but like I think Obsession is a more relevant example here, because Obsession
Undertone
was made
for for I think $500,000 around there.
Yeah, and Obsession has gone on to make over 200. I mean, it's getting to be about $250 million. It's certainly well over $200 million, and it's like that breakout hit where like Anora also was made for only like a couple of $1 million, and it won the Oscar. It didn't make like $200 million, but it was obviously really successful. So now this I forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, but Tichu language family drama. So not in Mandarin, but
it might be Tichu. If anybody is Chinese in the chat, then please let us know.
Let us know. But I mean, this is a similar situation. They made the movie for about $2 million US, and now it's crossed, or it's just about to cross 250 million at the box office in China. And a movie that has done really well domestically, they now have secured some international territories for releasing. So the UK and Irish cinemas will be playing this movie starting June 26th, with France to follow after. And depending on how well that plays out, I'm sure they're going to want to probably bring it to the US and other parts of the world. But yeah, it is good to see that it's not just like a YouTube American specific phenomenon where you're seeing these small movies that are connecting with audiences and then becoming runaway hits, because I feel like it speaks to a larger movement of people want to see something fresh, something different, something unique, something that's more relevant to the audiences that are going to the movie theaters today, which are a lot of younger people, as they always have been. And now Gen Z is having a much bigger say in what kind of movies are successful and are not successful. So it just goes to show you it's not just a uniquely American phenomenon, which is great. Love to see it. Yeah, Dear You. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Probably not gonna be available to watch online or on digital for a while, but that's interesting. I just wanted to. It's not the biggest box office story. Probably not something most people are gonna care about, but I thought it was worth pointing out, considering how well Obsession and Backrooms have been doing recently. So, all right, that's the box office report. So let's.
Although I forgot to put the banner up, my apologies, but that would win.
The box office report, yay! And now we move on to the MCU Weekly part of the show.
Yeah, MCU Weekly time. We got to talk about the Secret Wars. Can we talk about more Spider-Man? I want to talk about Spider-Man. Avengers Secret War rumors to feature a long-awaited introduction ahead of next saga. Secret Wars is, as we've talked about, is expected to soft reboot the MCU in a way, creating a reality inhabited by all three teams that did not feature in the same universe, but now do eventually. So we're expecting either that or Avengers Doomsday to introduce a new Black Panther, but it may not be the only big introduction. It's been 7 years since Mahershala Ali was revealed as the MCU Blade, and 5 years since the actor's voice cameo as the Daywalker in 2021's Eternals. A variant appeared in the animated Marvel Zombies, but Black Knight was not voiced by the but Blade Knight was not voiced by the Oscar winner. So much has been said about the potential plans for the character, with it looking increasingly likely that Marvel Studios will pivot from a Blade movie to the Vampire Hunter, taking center stage in a team-up project like Midnight Suns. However, in an apparent bid to boost awareness of the character before the next saga of storytelling, it's now said that Ali will play Blade in Avengers Secret Wars. Jeff Snyder, grain of salt,
There
shared
was
the
a lot of
rumor
reporting
corroborating
from Snyder.
a May 2026 report from Daniel Richtman. However, the latter didn't specify which Blade it would be, leading to speculation that Wesley Snipes might play the Daywalker again after his memorable Deadpool and Wolverine cameo. Instead, it seems we'll finally get to see what Ali can do with the character. For what it's worth, Insider, My Time to Shine, also grain of salt, is also reporting today that the Batman star Robert Pattinson is being eyed for a huge role. His name has previously been brought up in connection with Ghost Rider. So, grain of salt, I mean, it's entirely possible that he could show up, but, like, I don't know about that.
So basically, the TLDR of this is, Jeff Snyder was talking about in his latest Snyder report or newsletter that we could get the introduction of Blade proper with Mahershala Ali in the role in Avengers Secret Wars. It would make sense because I'm sure, much like what they did with Avengers Endgame, they're going to be trying to set up the future of the MCU through the second of these Avengers movies, and much like they set up Loki and a few other things that got spun off from Endgame, introducing some of these characters, then giving them, like, hopefully we eventually do get either a Midnight Suns or a Blade film would make sense. And yeah, Mahershala Ali, I think the only time he's made an appearance as Blade is like the voice acting appearance he did in Marvel Zombies, right? So most people think that he was the voice we hear in Eternals, like for the Blade Knight, was it, or Black Knight? I think it was Black Knight. In the post-credit sequence. But no, like, John, it makes sense, but it's coming from your favorite insider, Jeff Snyder. So, of course, we take it with a grain of salt. He doesn't always get things right. So we'll just have to wait and see. 9
times out of 10 he doesn't, but that's just how it be. But next up, more Secret Wars talk. They reveal plans for multiple variants of Spoiler and Spoiler, our favorite characters.
I love Spoiler.
Again, this is another My Time to Shine thing. So, grain of salt, the movie will feature several variants of the MCU's Jade Giant and the God of Thunder, Hulk and Thor. While the reliability of online rumors like this varies, fans are already speculating about which alternate takes on the heroes could be among those that assemble in theaters next December. I mean, I've heard that, like, it could, Jane Foster's Thor could come back, but, like, a version where she's still alive and not, dying of cancer and Mjolnir is not helping, or whatever the fuck they tried to do with that.
But John, remember in, like, one of the post-credit scenes for Love and Thunder, we saw Jane enter Valhalla, and she looked perfectly fine. So I guess it's like, their version of Afterlife.
Valhalla is the afterlife.
Yeah.
And I've also, like, Maestro or whatever. I think that's a version of Hulk that they were talking about. So it's who is a tyrannical, as it says here, the tyrannical future incarnation of Bruce Banner, who possesses both Hulk's immense power and Banner's intelligence, much like Professor Hulk, but not as stupid. With old J. Jaw set to go savage in Spider-Man Brand New Day, that villainous persona may be the natural next step. So, yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Look, it wouldn't be surprising. I bet you it's not just going to be, if they do have variants of Hulk and Thor, I bet you they're going to be variants of other characters. Like, we have heard rumors before that we might get variants of Captain America, of Scarlet Witch, of Doctor Strange. Of course, nothing is confirmed, and they probably haven't even shot much of it yet, and the plans might still change, and they will do reshoots next year. So I wouldn't be surprised. But you know what? What's that other character that replaces Thor as, like, Thor in the comics? People have been wanting to see for a long time.
Beta Ray Bill?
Beta Ray Bill. I feel like we need that could be, like, if you're gonna introduce Blade, introduce Beta Ray Bill, because I feel like.
But Beta Ray Bill is gonna be harder because he's an animal, so
No, I know, but I mean, dude, but, like, if you're doing it in the movies, you got the budget to do it. I'm just saying, it's a situation where, I mean, they already have entirely CGI characters. Like, Korg is entirely CGI. He's just voiced by Taika Waititi. So they can do it. I'm just thinking that Chris Hemsworth is probably going to hang it up, or at least not be involved in too many future solo Thor movies. Or even if he is, like, why not have a succession plan? Like, they have had so many. I know, like, Love is part of the succession plan in a way, but I feel like Beta Ray Bill is a character that's long overdue, and I'm sure Kevin Feige is well aware of that, and the audience is wanting to see it. So, but it's not unexpected. Again, this is still all rumors, though, so I wouldn't believe it too much until we get closer to the movie coming out. Which, John, if they were reshooting, Avengers Doomsday up until recently, then I bet you, like, Secret Wars will probably be reshooting even this time next year. So I wouldn't really think that a lot of the final pieces are in place, especially smaller cameo things, until like next fall for Secret Wars. Like even at next year's Comic-Con, we probably won't get, you know, all the final details from the movie. But yeah, that's part of the process of how Marvel does things. So we'll leave that there. That's all the Avengers and MCU talk we got for now. Let's move on. We move on from MCU Weekly to some movie talk madness, and madness indeed, John, because it looks like David Ellison's Paramount Warner Brothers merger, the $111 billion merger, just got the green light by the Justice Department in the US, which was one of the big, you know, green lights or boxes they need to check, a big hurdle, as it were. Now this happens pretty much at the same time as the, you know, a number of attorneys general, including you know, at the top of the pile being led by the California Attorney General. They're preparing a lawsuit to challenge and block this merger. So the state attorney generals will potentially you know, have a thing or two to say about this. But while that is still, you know, in the process of being put together, that lawsuit, you know, the feds here in the US, the Justice Department was a big one. Like the FCC is still looking into it. We talked about the other day, Australia's authorities approved it, so Australia and New Zealand is good to go. But there are, you know, other hurdles. Now the UK and the European authorities are still investigating and doing their due diligence. Like I said, the FCC is still doing it, and they haven't cleared it yet. And as far as the lawsuit goes, it looks like right now, outside of California, New York, Colorado, Oregon, Nevada, Washington, Connecticut, and Tennessee are some of the other states that might, you know, join in on that lawsuit with California. Where there have been some other countries where Paramount has gotten approval already. Saudi Arabia, Ukraine, Serbia, North Macedonia have found the deal, according to the Hollywood Reporter, that it doesn't violate antitrust laws, and that was shared by, you know, Paramount's legal chief officer Makan Del Rahim, who used to be part of the previous Trump administration, which I'm sure is not a coincidence. And then also foreign direct investment authorities in Germany, Italy, France, Romania, Slovenia, Belgium, Czechia, and New Zealand have also cleared the merger. So in terms of talking about a company that is owned by foreign investors, which, you know, none of the owners are really from any of those countries I just mentioned. So that being said, John, if you're able to kind of flip over to the next article for me, I just wanted to talk about the Justice Department. You might be wondering why they gave it a clear, because the Justice Department has to explain their reasoning, and, you know, without getting into you know, the super specific details, the TLDR of it is, the Justice Department, in their opinion, this particular merger will increase competition across the media and entertainment ecosystem. Those are the Justice Department's words, their antitrust division. And they found that the markets for streaming, linear TV, and the development, production, or distribution of films for theatrical release will not be harmed. So yeah, that's what they said. And I mean, basically they said that, you know, Warner Brothers and Paramount are kind of new in the streaming game relative to some other bigger players, and, you know, what used to be disruptors like Netflix and, you know, Apple and Amazon are now like the leaders, with like they have bigger streaming audiences, bigger subscriber bases than both Paramount Plus and HBO Max combined. So they're saying on that level, you know, and even YouTube they accounted for as well, which is exactly the argument Paramount was making. So I guess, you know, they were like, you've got a point, or at least, again, this is the Justice Department's opinion, and the current administration, they're letting this, you know, go through, but they're not, I mean, the only ones who have to give it a, you know, a final approval. So like, you still have all those other entities I talked about. So yeah, this is where we are at, and it's a big step for David Ellison to try to get this closed out, and, you know, this new company merged in and working as one. They're still aiming for September, but I guess we'll see if, you know, any of those lawsuits and other.
I just love how he's like, I'm the star of the show now.
Yeah.
Or she. I don't know if that's Cricket or
Georgie.
This
is a she. This is Georgie.
Okay. Yeah. I
I
wasn't sure because Cricket has come on the last few times, so like I wasn't sure if it was him.
Cricket is the one who like fell off or half fell off,
right?
And jumped off. Yeah, that was yesterday.
But anyway, sorry, I don't really give a fuck about this, but Cats. I like cats. I don't.
Yeah,
I
she's not
love. I
lying in front
love
of the
dogs,
webcam.
but like cats are like. I don't have this weird hatred against cats. It's just like I might be allergic, so I'm like iffy around them. But like cats seem to like me. Like when I went to my friend's house, and he has two cats, and they were like being like uncharacteristically like nice to me, and because even he says he's like, yeah, they're not really usually this nice with people, but apparently they like you. I'm like, pussy loves me.
Okay. Sure. I was gonna say it's more. I was gonna say
Well,
it's
clearly,
more usually
Monique, you have your
yeah.
dog in your profile
Yeah.
picture, so I would assume that you love animals. So
Fiona's getting a new dog tomorrow, by the way. She has to drive out to meet Winston. So you might in the future see Winston on the pod eventually. We'll see. He's a corgi. He's a 6-year-old corgi she's adopting. That she signed. I mean, I'm kind of maybe putting this out there prematurely because there's going to be a trial phase, so it's not a guarantee that things will work out. But good luck to her. I know she's probably like getting some rest right now because she has to drive 2 hours, and the foster family will drive over to meet her, and then they'll figure out how things work. But yeah, hooray for Winston. I mean, he's moved around a couple of times, and he's still only 6, so. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna have a lovely new home, and eventually he'll get to meet the cats. But yeah, I was gonna say to your point, John. I think it's not about you, pussy liking you. It's more about. I think it's a great sign when an animal trusts you and likes you, especially if like the first time they meet you, because animals tend to be better judges of characters at first glance than I feel like humans are. So I usually take it as a good sign. I haven't really had many bad experiences in recent years with any dogs or cats, which I take as a good sign. But hey, you know what? That's not the only movie talk madness we got today. Now we go from one deal to another, and we go from talking about mergers and acquisitions for big corporations to a union deal. The DGA, the latest union to land a deal and finalize it. Now, the DGA board has approved the 4-year deal with the studios, and I'm just gonna give you guys a TLDR of it. I remember mentioning this before. So the deal really, one of the big things in the deal was that much like the writers and the actors before them, the directors, their pension fund needed a big cash injection because it was running in the negative the last few years. So that's something that was definitely a big part of the negotiations. The studios came in knowing that, and so they made sure that that was something they put out front and center, and that was obviously a big key, and then the directors did get that. They got a pretty significant cash injection to their pension fund. The other thing I was gonna say is I remember I mentioned this before, so again, kind of bringing it up again, it's a 4-year deal. The standard has always pretty much been that it's going to be it's a 3-year deal, so every 3 years you would renegotiate. But the studios wanted a bit more stability so that they weren't worrying about a strike every 3 years. I mean, it's not like every 3 years, but at least this deal is for 4 years. They wanted 5, they settled for 4, which is the same thing that the writers and the actors got. And yeah, now the contract now goes from the board to the full membership for approval, and then a vote is expected to take place before the end of this month in June, and the guild's current contract expired by the end of this month, June 30th. So, if all things go well, then DGA President Sir Christopher Nolan will be able to, make the announcement about this being a done deal, like officially ratified by the membership. And yeah, there was a memo that was sent out to the membership from Sir President Christopher Nolan talking about the deal. He said, "We entered this negotiation with 3 main priorities: secure our health plan, protect jobs, and ensure that our members remain secure as AI continues to impact our industry. We succeeded in these areas and gained in many others." Nolan also wrote with adding on to that he believes the agreement has both appropriate and necessary to provide stability and potential for growth at a moment when the industry has been experiencing contraction, aka 2 studios becoming 1. So yeah, there's a lot of healthcare changes. Like I said, that was a big one. There's some new AI protections, nothing too out of the ordinary. That's a few
the biggest thing that I see reported on.
Yeah, there's a few multi-hyphenate guardrails, which, speaking of which, John, let's talk about that specifically. And hello, Smacky. Thank you for this. Thank you for your super chat. We will address that a little bit later with Supergirl talk, but hello, D. Cole as well. if you could go to the next article, John, I wanted to address that because the multi-hyphenate protections has to do with, like, you know, actors have over the years been able to direct TV episodes. Like usually what you see happen a lot is if you're a big time TV actor that's been, or usually not like, you know, an A-lister, because A-listers, you know, they'll just keep acting and acting, but you do see it sometimes. Well, like you'll see like, oh, this particular show stars this particular actor as part of like an ensemble cast, but then in like season 3 or season 4, that actor is also directing a few episodes. Like going back into the Star Trek world, Riker, why am I forgetting his name right now? Riker, William, I'm, you know, number one, John, I'm totally blanking on his name. Jonathan Frakes. Jonathan Frakes. There it is. He played number one on Star Trek Enterprise for the entirety of its run, but by the time you get to the middle seasons of the show, he was starting to direct some episodes. It's not like Patrick Stewart was directing it, but obviously Jonathan Frakes was interested, and he's had a prolific career as a TV director. He even directed some of the Star Trek Picard episodes, so and several other Star Trek shows from that era as well. I think like Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and he's done other shows beyond it. So there's other examples of it, and now basically as part of the current DGA deal, which does get them some of those healthcare gains, and you know there's an upgrade on the streaming residuals, which we've talked about before, for the directors, depending on how well your show performs. We'll get to Batman, don't you worry. And thank you for joining us, Watcher, by the way. We will get to DCU Daily in a bit. We're working our way there. But yeah, in addition to all those other things I mentioned, now with less TV being produced over the last few years, because we're past that peak TV era, because you know there's fewer shows being greenlit, and you know streaming services are not just throwing money at anything and everything. Because of that slump, the new DGA deal does limit actors and you know others, you know, who aren't necessarily, you know, part of the DGA from taking director jobs. So that's something where this is a new permanent credit for TV pilot directors and commitment from top studio leaders to help lobby for federal production tax incentives. So there you go. It makes it a little more difficult for actors and you know other folks like a writer to like jump into a director's chair for multiple episodes of a TV show that they're a part of, but it does protect, you know, directors who are part of the DGA. So I understand this. I get it. It may sound a little like, you know, opportunity, if you, as it were, but you know, the DGA got a good deal ultimately, I feel like, because they got those AI protections, they got an upgrade on their on those streaming residuals, which has been a black hole for years, and Netflix took advantage of that for a long time. And then, you know, they are able to sort of, again, protect the directors union against their jobs being taken up by potentially folks who, you know, or otherwise multi-hyphenates. So, you know, it's I don't know exactly how to feel about that, but, you know, overall, I think it's a good deal for the directors, and I'm glad that it's not a strike that we're going to. But yeah, that's your Movie Talk Madness. Of course, with that, I think, John, we are ready to go to the quick hits. So let's do that, shall we?
There it is. But first quick hit is Lionsgate, Lucky Chap, and Hasbro Entertainment developing multiple new takes on Monopoly movie. Now, here's something that's interesting about this is that plot twist. This is actually just going to be a documentary about Disney and Paramount. So, plot twist. That's just all it is. Get it?
Yeah, they're working on
monopolies.
Yeah.
Is
multiple
funny?
New takes on the movie. I mean, this is not the first time we have heard about this, but that, you know what, that's interesting. And you know what, Watcher, we will get into all the Batman stuff later. Don't you worry. But yeah, Lionsgate. I mean, I guess they're trying to make sure that no matter what, they'll have at least one good idea. So good on them.
Yes.
Cool.
But next up, apparently Lilo and Stitch 2 to be directed by co-creator Chris Sanders himself. The man left the Wild Robot sequel for this.
Lilo and Stitch 2. Yeah, it's interesting. He'll probably make more money.
It just proves that there's no God. So.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying he's probably gonna make more money doing this than the Wild Robot 2.
Yeah,
so.
But like artistry, whatever happened to that, right?
But I mean, it's also his creation. Maybe he feels really strongly about it. You know, like it's possible that, yeah.
A likely story. Anyway.
Cool.
But viral open door YouTube short to be adapted into feature earns 6-figure development deal. Now I am sure that much like Face of God, I think or there was another YouTube short that's going to be a movie soon. We'll have this with how Obsession is going, with how Backrooms is going, with how Iron Lung went. This will not be one of the first, and it sure as shit is not going to be the fucking last when it comes to YouTube shit getting adapted into movies, because, oh boy, Hollywood wants to get on that train, learn all the wrong lessons, make a bunch of terrible movies that no one goes to see, that doesn't have the actual artistry and passion behind it that Obsession and Backrooms and Iron Lung had, and we're probably going to get more slop like House on Eden and Shelby Oaks. So we'll see how it goes. I hope
John,
it's more positive that that these motherfuckers can actually let them do what they want instead of Hollywood micromanaging and then ruining something like they always do. But we'll see. I'm optimistic that we get more shit like Obsession, hopefully.
Well, this is the thing though, like Hollywood always chases after like the new hot thing, and like for a while it's been like book adaptations and video game franchises, and IP is king. So I mean, anything that has a pre-built audience, built-in audience that they can kind of like translate into a bigger monetization opportunity. Georgie's just being very cute right now. But yeah, so I mean, look, that's the thing. It's kind of like that idea in sports. Like if one team invents a new way to play basketball and wins a championship, then every other team wants to, start playing like them and build their team like them. But what usually happens is that not everybody succeeds at doing that, because it's not like one given formula that's gonna like unlock the key to winning or making money in this case. So you will, like you said, see a lot of failures as a result of this. But you know what? At the same time, like for those filmmakers that are able to take advantage of this and get themselves, some real money to make the movies that they want to make, which I think is the really important thing here, that, it's their ideas and they're able to now have a bigger platform to turn them into something greater than they probably ever hoped that it could. So take advantage of the opportunity while you have it, like that's a lot of what Hollywood has always been about. So, and make it count, Yeah.
Yes. But going back to Spielberg, and speaking of Obsession and Backrooms, he has advice for them. Don't let success go to your heads, which should be a pretty easy thing to, hammer home, but like, considering with how people still need to hear that advice, especially in this day and age. You think, oh yeah, of course, but then you come up with another Quentin Tarantino who's the biggest egotistical douche canoe of them all. So don't let the success go to your heads. Don't become assholes, hopefully. So
it's obvious, but you got to remember, these guys are probably now getting solicited by not just the studios that they've already been working with,
right,
but every other producer who is like, oh, you got another idea, like I can package this with this XYZ actor and bring it to this next seller, and then so Hollywood can really chew you up and spit you out real quick. So, and that can but your ego gets inflated when you're getting phone calls left and right, and your representation's like, well, we got the next 5 projects lined up for you. Which ones do you want to pick and work on? So, well, the Watcher clearly did not like Disclosure Day. But I mean, whether you like Disclosure Day or not, Steven Spielberg knows a thing or two because he's seen a thing or two. More importantly, he's directed, 1 or 2 of the greatest movies of all time. So I think his advice matters, because it's about longevity.
His advice still matters, just because, just because people, some of his later movies are not that good, according to some people, does not mean like that doesn't take away the man, made Saving Private Ryan, made Schindler's List, made one of the greatest movie trilogies of all time with Indiana Jones. So, yeah, he still has a lot to say. Like, he still is very knowledgeable, man. Just because Disclosure Day sucked to you doesn't mean he's, you can take
it's also like he's been and it's like he's a producer. He owns his own production company that is does a lot more than just the movies that he directs and produces, right? So
right,
it's about longevity. Like, what you don't want to be is a one-hit wonder. You don't want to just, you know, be a flash in the pan and like have a couple of good movies and nobody hears about you years later. We've seen plenty of examples of that. Like directors like Neil Blomkamp, I feel like, is an example where he was on the up and up, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, a couple of things missed, and then he just, like, opportunity can vanish as quickly as it appears.
I mean, that's what happened with Richard Kelly. Bro made Southland Tales and then nuked his entire career. So, you know, and then Toby Kaye was another one. He made American History X, never made anything after that because he fucking was a notorious asshole. So, you know,
what about the director of Fan Four Stick? Remember, he was on a...
Josh Trank, I mean, he tried to do that Al Capone movie, and he's like, even though he sold it, like, clearly this is an Al Capone who is, like, dying of dementia, so, like, it's not gonna be, like, this cool movie about this gangster. It's gonna be about a powerful man who fell from grace, and everyone's like, this movie sucked, and it's like, okay, well, there goes that, and then he left the industry, so there's that, too.
Well, but yeah, exactly. So we hope that both of these guys, for, you know, Curry Barker and Kane Parsons, they're around for a long time, and it just means you gotta stay humble. And Steven Spielberg's not wrong about that.
Indeed. But next up, speaking of peaking in the 2000s with Spielberg, Tom Cruise reunites with Spielberg co-stars Colin Farrell and Dakota Fanning. The former with Minority Report, the latter with War of the Worlds. And with that, you can't see it in this picture, but I'll scroll down a bit. Popcorn bucket with Spielberg's head. I'd buy that.
I would buy that. I'd buy
the shit out of that.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I agree. This is great, though. I mean, I don't know if Spielberg was in the room, but, well, his bobblehead was. Tom Cruise, man, he's just becoming an ambassador for the movies. He just shows up whichever movie he wants to support. Like, all of a sudden, when Tom Cruise gives you the stamp of approval, that certainly, you know, pulls in some influence, even in an era when movie stars don't matter as much for, like, box office numbers. But yeah, this is great. I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of one of these bobbleheads. Probably gonna be ridiculously expensive, you know, but hey.
Yes.
It's probably cheaper than the Marvel statue.
Ridiculously expensive, Dan. Seeing all 4 Beatles movies on one day or one weekend.
I'm not going to.
But apparently Ben Schwartz is cast in those films. Apparently Schwartz is going to be playing New York disc jockey Murray the K. The Beatles welcomed Murray into their orbit during their first trip to the United States in the 1960s. So that's pretty awesome. I love me some Ben Schwartz. I love me some Beatles. So put them together. I'm there. I mean, I'm already there. Like, I'm going to watch all 4 movies in one fucking weekend. Try my best, but you know.
No, I hear you. I probably won't be able to get to all 4 in one. That's a lot, and I don't think I was into the Beatles that.
And meanwhile, Liz is just like peasants.
Well, I know she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it in one day. But like, I can't. I just don't see myself spending 12 hours in a movie theater. So, or 12 hours straight. But yeah, hey, you know what? Good for Ben Schwartz. This is one of his bigger roles of his career, so hopefully this will turn into something big for him. Yeah.
I mean, and bro's already Sonic. He's already big. It's fine. He's cool.
Yeah, he's not lacking for opportunity.
But Mass director Chuck Russell talks possibility of sequel with Jim Carrey. There's always talk about it. There was a sequel. Don't forget, there was Son of the Mask, which I avoided. They were nice enough to offer directing to me, but comedy is harder than action. The Mask has comedy and action, but it was primarily a comedy. And, you know, with all this, essentially it's just being like, hey, it could happen, but it can also not happen. So we'll see how it goes.
I don't know. I feel like the window has passed, even for a legacy sequel. It's like hard for... I mean, I guess you could do it. Jim Carrey, it still has the comedic charm, but... yeah, well, I guess we'll wait and see until this is actually a thing. Until then, good for Chuck Russell. So.
Yep. Roku stock hits 4-year high after reports it has held sale talks. Everybody is just...
Yeah, hey, the latest.
Everybody's just getting merged, sold off, buying, all that shit.
Dude, on the day that SpaceX has the biggest IPO of all time and Elon Musk becomes the world's first trillionaire, look, it's like you've talked about it. It just seems to be the way the wind is flowing these days. Mergers and acquisitions. The moment a company says, oh, we might be, you know, selling ourselves, like all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, we gotta buy their stock right now before it blows up in a sale. And then, you know, you reap the profits. It's similar to like what we talked about with IMAX. I just don't know where they would go, who they would merge with. I mean, would they just merge into another streaming service? Because it's also Roku has a physical hardware business, and that makes it a little more complicated because I don't know, like that's not as clean as just being a streaming service and like a content like production house. So the Roku is kind of like IMAX, where it doesn't neatly fit into any other equivalent company. They're kind of unique cases in that sense. So yeah, it will be interesting to see if this actually becomes a thing or not, or if they're just exploring to see if there's any buyers in the market. And that might just be it. Like they might be like, oh well, nothing worked out. So we'll see.
Right.
Maybe Versant. They might be a good one because they've got a bunch of like different businesses from the NBC spinoff.
Yeah. But next up, Widow's Bay heated rivalry and industry lead TCA award nominations. Critics group also gave multiple nominations, although multiple is fucking spelled wrong. Guys, come on, you're a Hollywood Reporter. This isn't comic book movie. Fucking get out of here with that shit. Jesus Christ.
Multiple?
To The Pit, The Late Show, and Pluribus.
I mean, the Television Critics Association is what TCA stands for. Heated Rivalry, Industry, Widow's Bay are some of the best shows on TV today. The Pit, obviously, The Late Show, Pluribus. I love Pluribus. I've seen, I've seen some of Widow's Bay. I've seen all of Heated Rivalry. The Pit, obviously, and The Late Show just finished up. So, yeah, it's not surprising that these are the shows that are going to be nominated. The Television Critics Association is a little bit different than the Television Academy that gives out the Emmys, but you'll probably see a lot of overlap between the shows you see nominated here and the Emmys that happen in a few months' time. So it's good. It's good to see that. We'll see who wins, and when they have the results, we'll talk about it.
Indeed. But next up, Lioness Season 3 trailer is deranged, but in a good way. Cool.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this because I love the show The Lioness. I'm actually kind of concerned that this is going to end when Taylor Sheridan soon leaves Paramount for NBC Universal proper on the TV side. But Zoe Saldana, Nicole Kidman, I think Morgan Freeman also, and then many other characters. I mean, even Taylor Sheridan himself had an extensive supporting role in the last season. Without giving away any of the spoilers, again, they're not like, this show's narratives are sort of contained within each season. It's like seasonally they're episodic, as in each season is self-contained more or less, even though you follow the same characters in a new adventure in the following season. So again, the second season was more like home front, like US Mexico based, whereas it looks like season 3 they're going to be going in more of a different direction. So again, I'm excited to see it. As long as this show goes on for, I'll be watching. It's one of my favorite shows in Paramount Plus.
Yeah, nice. Speaking of one of your favorite shows, The Night Agent, Lucienne Buchanan to return for Rose and Peter reunion in 4th and final season. I don't know what that means, but I hope it means something to you.
Yeah, because Rose and Peter were sort of like love interests the first couple of seasons. He basically saves her in the first season, and then they kind of like date, but then they also like are apart because they're working on two opposite coasts of the country. Then in season 3, for whatever reason, Rose was not there. I mean, we talked about it when that news was announced. I'm like, Lucienne Buchanan was in that Jason Momoa show on Apple TV, not C, but the newer one that they did. I forget what that was called. So she's on that show, and I don't think that show is getting a season 2. It wasn't really that good. But it's good to see that, for the 4th and final season, they reunite, and maybe they'll have a happily ever after, because their relationship has always been like a little like up and down. So in the show, like not in the sense like they just never got like, they were like, oh, we both have things we want to do, and maybe this relationship isn't the right thing for us now, kind of thing. So as a fan of the show, I'm excited to see the reunion. So Peter and Rose.
Yay.
We'll see how that plays out.
And then finally, your boy hanging out with A24. Maybe A24 will zhuzh him up, like give him like A24 makes so many good movies they can make even like someone like Zack Snyder seem like quality. So they'll inject him with something, make him seem actually good.
I was trying to think like what this could be, because between the 300 show he's working with Warner Brothers on, he was on the Paramount lot not too long ago. He's either pitching something or he's being considered for projects. He's working on that Escape from New York movie, the reboot, which I don't think is with A24. It's with Studio Canal. But yeah, you know what? Maybe A24, either he was pitching them something he's working on. I don't know if The Last Photograph has a distributor. Maybe that's what it is. But nonetheless, Zack Snyder times A24, wouldn't mind seeing what they get up to. Hi, Stacy. How are you doing? Haven't seen Power Ballad. I think Liz did though, so
yeah,
she will be seeing it.
She liked it but didn't love it.
Yeah, the LA Movie Cop Show made. Which one is that? The Watcher suggesting an idea. Okay, well I guess we'll see. We'll see.
To live and die in LA. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Okay. Well, we'll see what Zack Snyder ends up doing if he does anything with A24. But hey, you know what? That's the end of the quickest, John. That's all we had for quickest today. They were kind of quick, relatively quick. We're just hitting the hour mark. You know what, John? That gives us just enough time to move on from the news portion of the show. And actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do something that we haven't really done in the past, which is we're on 5 days a week. And so I figured, at the end of the week, we should look back at the last 5 days worth of shows. So basically from last Friday till today.
Just giving yourself more work, Dan, making yourself more fucking stressed.
Well, there's ways to go about it where we can make it happen. I'm not promising that this, if you guys don't like it, we won't do it again. But I just thought we'd do a little compilation of the best moments from the week that was on Oh So Curious and DCU Daily. So I put together a compilation. It's got a bunch of us in there. It's got a bunch of you guys comments in there as well. He was making an LA police film. Okay. All right. Well, with that, let's go to the best of the first best of week.
Best of Redditor updates.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side of that, we'll be back with DCU Daily, so stick around. We also have Fancast Friday coming up, so we're nowhere near done yet. We still got to talk about the Batman and some Supergirl updates, Lobo talking about Wonder Woman, as well as James Gunn addressing something interesting about Supergirl. So with that in mind,
the always wonderful.
Here is the best of the week on Oh So Curious from this past week. Again, from last Friday all the way till today. Obviously not including today's show because we're live. But here we go. And we'll see you on the other side of this with DCU Daily.
We have the always wonderful Liz to join us on this Friday. It's truly, thank God it's Friday, because thank God Liz is here to join me
you guys.
on this wonderful pre-weekend fun time DCU Daily time. So
Hey, everybody.
yeah, nobody wants Jared Leto in their house. Isn't this supposed to flop because it has a black woman in it? That's what I thought. Like, this is supposed to flop, right? Avenge me! Thank you for that. I sacrificed. Willem Dafoe's always a win.
Thank you, Dan.
Freaky Nikki.
Hey, now.
Just don't be hanging around any One Wish Willows or guys named Bear. Be careful out there.
I mean, I could.
When you're not like having like tism rants like the rest of us, which also
cinema,
looks great.
Baby. This is cinema.
I know. And literally, they fucking like chism over fucking Interstellar, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this movie's gonna suck," and I'm like, "You like Interstellar though?"
I'm saying, thank you, John. Thank you.
I wouldn't mind seeing some Matt Damon dingle
like
dangle.
A minute or two.
Like a
minute or two would be great for me.
So
they'll probably do the helmet. They'll probably do that. I'll get add another man's head to my collection.
And then, boy, Jason Statham, he stole my bike. Anyway, so David Leitch's next movie, which is appropriately called Jason Statham Stole My Bike, starring Jason Statham, sets a summer 2027 release, August 6th specifically. So, I mean, say what you will about Jason Statham, the man clearly isn't like The Rock or Vin Diesel, where he has an ego. He knows when to fucking laugh at himself and all of his ridiculous ass movies. So, like, you know what? Good for him, because this is the one Jason Statham movie I will actually watch, because it actually looks really funny. You stole my bike. Boy, I'm not just a beekeeper. I'm the beekeeper too. Anyway, Henry, come on, man.
It's my favorite thing you do, John.
Everyone should try these. They're very good. They're the best chocolate coconut I've ever had.
Great foreshadowing, John.
Yeah. But that's a segue for like fucking 2 hours from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, these storyboards look great.
I was gonna say, it's fine.
What? Good for you, gal. Nice abs.
No. This is Asia
Way to
Arjona.
work.
Gal's the other Wonder Woman actress.
Oh my God, John. That kind of Monday, gang. It's that kind of
I will
Monday.
never give Tom King props because he didn't fucking write the script. I'm giving props to Anna Naguera for turning shit into gold. That's what I'm fucking doing. We'll never give Tom King props.
Why y'all
Never.
gotta set him off? Don't be setting him off like that. Y'all know better at this point.
Never give Tom.
We will talk
the
about
only
that. Yeah.
good thing that Tom King did was finally make Batman be with Selena Kyle, and he even fucked that up himself. Tom King can suck a dong.
We're gonna be here till
Guy.
3 a.m. You guys keep doing this bullshit. Y'all better stop it.
Anyway, fuck Tom King.
I just love like the
that's an
default
early
insult
for
is
fucking,
always
you know,
suck a
I know that's the
dong.
closing line, but you know what, I'm saying it now. Fuck Tom King. He could suck my left nut, he could suck my right nut, and he could choke on this dick. Fuck Tom King. Anyway, he's my mortal nemesis. You know I exist,
we
but
have to
fuck
clip
guy.
that. You have to clip that for TikTok. I'm putting in a special request. I would like that to be clipped. I appreciate that.
if you wanna survive in the apocalypse,
beans.
like beans will save your life.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Well, guess what? First of all, Dan. Really? Do you really think this fucking fat body is gonna fucking
God's
survive the
sake.
apocalypse? Like,
Good Lord.
I wouldn't know. I don't know,
Shit.
John. It depends on like
There's
if
too
you
much
can
body
come on,
shaming
grow
going
what
on.
is? Come on. Do we not remember Jesse Eisenberg's rules for the apocalypse in Zombieland? Rule number 1: cardio. I don't fucking have it, bro. Like, I'm not living. If we have running zombies, I am.
You could
fucked.
get
done. I'm
in,
just
John. There's
done.
time. We've got time, John. We've got time.
You got time.
We were just talking about it in the rain the other
I
day.
do.
Perfect.
I absolutely do. I have 100% all day, every day. There's
I think you
like
should get
Jake
that looked at, to be
Gyllenhaal is
fair.
Jake Gyllenhaal is my Roman Empire. I think I definitely think of him at least once a day. Fucking Jake Gyllenhaal.
So he's your number one choice for Batman now, since Alan Richardson
John
isn't gonna.
Bernthal has surpassed him. I now think of John Bernthal fairly regularly as well.
Okay.
It's all the spicy books, you guys. What else? What else
It's
is a
fine.
gal to do?
We all got something.
Yeah, John
Danielle
Bernthal and
Melchior is
Jake
mine.
Gyllenhaal. John Bernthal and Jake Gyllenhaal are my Roman Empire at the moment. Absolutely. What's that one? The Cosmic Chick. Oh, there's more. Oh my God. Be Still My Heart. Hold on. Go back to the other ones. Oh, Blush of
Yeah.
Power is cute. Give me the other ones, Tian. That gold one. Revenge is Chic. Yeah, babe. 100%.
The only thing that made me angry, the only thing that made me really upset, is the fact we didn't get Skeletor saying, "Until we meet again." Like, come on, guys. You could have done that for us, but like, what I think UFO movies are is like, you see the UFO touching down, it's aliens coming to us. That is essentially like it's not like Alien as in like the Sigourney Weaver franchise of like xenomorphs. That's in space. UFO is like when the aliens come to Earth either for invasion purposes or to warn us of a greater evil. That's what I think a UFO
That's what I
movie
thought
should
too.
be.
Yeah.
Well, so I will say I did have The Fifth Element on my list for a minute there, and then I was like, oh, it doesn't fit the script, but actually it does, because it starts off with Bruce Willis on Earth in the future. So I could end that, put that back on the list. Since one of my other picks doesn't fit the criteria. John, thanks for fucking calling that shit out right there. But anyway,
that's just how I view it. You can view it a different way,
That was
but
a
that's
low
just
blow,
how I
John.
view it.
That was a low blow. Anyway.
What the fuck did I do? Why am I getting fucking beat up today? Like, what the fuck?
Because like Liz literally has alien in
you
her
called out my pick. But literally,
I didn't know you had alien in there. I wasn't fucking looking at shit. Like, that was just the first thing that came to mind. Because why? Because it's called Alien. It's the most generic title in the history of mankind. Like, what do you mean?
Mac and me, fuck off, John. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You want on your goddamn tangent about your fucking movies. Don't fucking go there for Mac and me, my friend. Don't
Like,
even
nobody
fucking try.
likes Mac and
No,
me.
sir. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Remember, John, I am almost 20 years older than your ass. Don't even fucking go there with me and Mac and me, my friend. You will not.
The only reason Mac and me is so famous is because Paul Rudd likes to troll Conan O'Brien.
No, fuck off. That's the only beef I have with Paul Rudd is leave Mac and me the fuck alone.
Okay, RedTube. Eric is wondering if his son RedTube, John. I wonder if you know about that.
You guys, like,
no, it's
Bye,
not on
M2G.
RedTube, it's on Tubi.
Okay, that's awesome. We love people that are lurking. You know, you can always just give us a like.
We love the lurkers as long as you give us a like. If you don't give us a like, go to the corner. I'm just kidding. We still love you guys. Why are you acting like a bitch? Like, you won. You're literally gonna fucking start a monopoly. You're in the fucking bed with the president. You're on your fucking knees sucking Trump cock, and you're still fucking complaining that Netflix has a besmirching campaign against you. It's like, no, because you're a right-wing fuckwad who's in bed with the president, who also wants to own the news, who also wants to fucking own not one but two major Hollywood studios just because you have the money to do so. That's why people hate you. Not because, like, Netflix said something. Fuck off. Like, you're such a bitch. Like, imagine being this much of a winner, but also being the biggest pussy imaginable. That's insane to me. It's just go back to that quote that Mr. Krabs said. Am I gonna really dig this up for money? Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nickelodeon.
Money,
go fuck yourselves. Elle makes her debut and trailer for Legally Blonde prequel series, and apparently people are already pissed. They're like, this has nothing to do with the actual character. Like, people are like, oh, you're just changing the entire backstory for this character just to make this prequel like actually exist. Like, literally, he calls his penis a longsword in the movie canonically. He is gay for He-Man. And why wouldn't you be? Nick Galitzine, he's a hunky piece of man meat. So, like, yeah, who wouldn't be? Yeah. So the first thing is apparently a drink cup, which is Supergirl's chest, which I can't imagine this will go badly at all. But this is kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't get this because I would feel very weird about it. But, you know, it's kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. Nice. Cool.
There will be more.
Okay. Okay, a woman said that, so like she can say that. I can't say.
Sure, Monique. You know, it's if you say so. If you say so, we believe you.
Now I have to read the absolute. Now I have to. If Cassandra Cain is coming in, I gotta read it. Now I gotta read it. You roped me in, DC. I wasn't gonna read your weird fucking Snyder fan fiction type crap, but if you're bringing my girl into this goddamn universe, I will fucking read your shit. You got me. Lobo on his bike. Why am I repeating? Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
So, the Knicks won. The Knicks won.
Hey! Oh, shit.
Largest comeback in NBA Finals history.
Damn. Or how someone went up to Michael Caine, they're like, I saw Jaws 4. That was a terrible movie. He's like, well, the mother, the house that it bought my mother was very nice, so fuck off. Well, he's gonna.
Oh,
there he is.
Hey.
You were black for a second. Okay, that came out wrong.
What?
You were
What?
black screen for a second. You had a black screen for a second, so I was worried that your camera wasn't working. No, you're good. You're good. We're good. It's fine. Well, you know what else is really good? Monique's dinner. I love John Bernthal, and I love The Punisher. Not in that way. I think he's an intriguing character, but he's not a role model. I don't like him like that. I'm just saying he's very intriguing, even though he is, a human piece of garbage. But that's the point, even though, cops don't seem to understand that. But anyway,
I would love to see if he can get some armor on him. That's not just a bulletproof vest. Maybe some of the War Machine stuff that maybe the Department of Damage Control might have to hold up. Uh-oh. I had a cat almost fall off and treats went everywhere. Anyway, let's keep going.
And then finally we got the hand. They're not doing it for story reasons. They're not doing it for character-driven reasons. They're doing it because Kevin Feige said, "You two motherfuckers made me $4 billion in 2 years. Do it again." So you know what? That's what they're fucking doing, and they are going for every lowest common denominator, every cheap shot, every nostalgia little fucking bit imaginable. We're bringing back Fox. We're bringing back Steve Rogers. We're bringing back fucking RDJ as Doom. We're gonna have this character. We're gonna have this plot line. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have that. Only... It's like that meme with Walter White drip dropping into the test tubes. It's like, this is Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers experimenting, trying to perfect the formula so that they fucking get $5 billion from these two fucking movies, and that's it. They couldn't give less of a flying fuck about what you think on Rotten Tomatoes, on IMDb, on Letterboxd, on anything. They're gonna get the fucking $4 billion because you're a fucking sucker. And you know what? Frankly, they fucking deserve it at this point. If they can get the fucking suckers and saps to fall for this garbage, then frankly, take your $4 billion. Will you be remembered for the test of time? Not like they fucking care. They just want the money. And you know what? They're gonna get the money. Show me the money. And guess what? All the fucking dumbasses are gonna give them their money. Because we live in a society. Like, I know everybody loves that scene. I hate it. It's so...
Poetry. I love it.
It's just... It's
Cynthia,
so it's not even like comedy of errors or anything like that. It's just bad.
Cynthia
it's just not
died.
good comedy.
Jesus
it's not
Christ.
funny. But it's considering
it's
it's Jonah Hill by himself, that makes sense because Jonah Hill fucking sucks. But like, you know,
Oh
we're
my god,
like
it's time
Batman
has
and
passed.
Robin, but we're both Batman.
Batman. Dude, you shot my dick. Oh, and then also, speaking of Dave Franco, I can't wait to see what's happened to him, if he's still in jail, or...
I would assume he's still in jail. I assume him and Rob Riggle are still in prison.
Oh my god, your new office is like a cube of ice.
I could have went to
Like,
Berkeley.
to work.
I'm Eric's bitch. No, you're not. I have a vagina now. No, you don't.
Yep.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
You own the sentence.
Well, I just had a theory about how they came up with the title. Maybe Colin Farrell, after, being the Penguin and Batman, gave them some ideas, because he was like, I got to. And then they were like, oh, gatto.
Or, gatto is the Italian word for cat.
That's also true. That's also true. That's also true. But it was a theory. It was a theory.
No, and it was
maybe
a
even
terrible theory.
hypothesis.
It's, Anyway. Nat Geo spins off Tucci in Italy with Tucci in Great Britain. So
Tucci.
the man is going from one of the greatest food capitals of the world to Great Britain.
It's a bit of a downgrade. I was like, you could have gone to Portugal, you could have gone to Spain, Brazil,
like India, where half of fucking Great Britain cuisine is
exactly
from.
like the whole subcontinent. You could have gone to China, like
fucking
Japan.
Vancouver probably has better fucking cuisine.
Probably California alone could have better, but Stanley Tucci knows all that. That's not as
France.
Exotic. Yeah.
Germany.
I know, this shepherd's pie isn't such a bad thing, Like shepherd's pie, you got fish and chips.
Shepherd's pie is Irish though.
Is it? I thought it was Scottish. No, I think it's Scottish.
I'm pretty sure it's Irish.
Okay, I don't know.
Hold on, let me look it up.
I mean, we're struggling here, guys. Maybe some tikka masala, but that's, you know, obviously the island. Famous British. You guys go off in the chat. Famous British food dishes. Okay, so fish and chips. We already said that. A Sunday roast. Okay. Bangers and mash. Heard of that? Tried it. Pies and pastry. Okay. All right. The Cornish pastry. Yep. Tried that. Scotch egg. Full English breakfast. That's like a whole thing. Sticky toffee pudding. Sticky toffee pudding is the bomb.
Apparently, okay. So shepherd's pie apparently originated in Britain and France.
Probably during the wars. Any of the ones that fought.
No, well, the original was the cottage pie that was made with beef instead of lamb, and then the shepherd's pie was introduced. But cottage pie originated back at least since 1791. And then, okay, a recipe for shepherd's pie. Okay, so you might be right, Dan. A recipe for shepherd's pie published in Edinburgh in 1849. Which specifies
I'm dating a
Scottish
kind. I know the
sliced rather than minced. It's very different. But then the 1850s, like, really truncated it. I could have sworn it was Irish, but maybe
you know what? But either way, the fact that we are still having a hard time counting beyond the one hand is a little interesting.
A really kind of dark and at times terrifying piece, and not only psychologically weighty and nuanced, but really feeling. I just think he wrote kind of a contemporary genre masterpiece. Really, I'm only in 2 scenes, which is great because it means I can enjoy the rest of the film. Honestly, man, it's so good. I'm so excited about it. It's like, if Supergirl is at the very least halfway fucking decent, then, you know, then we'll actually, you know, get, like, she turned shit into gold. Like, she turned Tom King into something watchable. So, you know, she is, in that case, she's literally Jesus. Miracles.
I mean, there is a Wonder Woman. There was a run of Wonder Woman that Tom King did, remember, John? So
yeah, and it's terrible. It sucks. It's horrifically bad. It is horrific.
It's already happened, MTG. John is worked up. Thank you, Enterprise.
It's horrific.
Yeah.
You know what I feel like? I feel like Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man in, like, the Spider-Man 3, where he's talking about the man who killed my uncle is still out there. The man who character assassinated 12 DC characters is still out there, and he's still writing for DC. This man should be jailed for how many characters he's assassinated. Batman, Wonder Woman, fucking Orion, Booster Gold. How many characters is he going to assassinate before you fucking get a clue, DC? Come on now. What is this?
I don't know.
What he did to Booster Gold, somebody should have dragged him out behind the shed and just put him up in the head, because that's, damn, bro, that's just reprehensible right there. Like, I know Booster Gold isn't, like, a beloved character. He is the hero you've never heard of. But, like, what he did with that fucking story is, Jesus Christ. That should be, like, that's for the fucking minor leagues. Not a guy who's writing for, like, one of the two biggest comic book companies of all time. Get
Relegate
out of here.
That man.
I'm sure, like, personality-wise, Tom King is a perfectly fine individual. Seems like a nice guy. You know who else seemed like a nice guy? Hitler. He seemed okay at the beginning, just a guy making speeches in bars, and then they're like, let's take his anti-Semitism and use that and make him be the guy for the Nazi party. So, you know who else seemed like a nice guy? Jeffrey Dahmer.
Let's pull it back,
Ted
John.
Bundy seemed nice. You know, these guys seem nice, and then they turn out to be monsters. Okay, so you know. That's just how it is,
Jason Momoa
bro.
has had movies go to streaming. We appreciate you. Stay blessed, friends. Stay curious.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot, right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy, Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you really I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
You're muted, Dan. You're muted.
Okay, I'm not muted anymore. Welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily, the final DCU Daily of the week, because it is a Friday night, depending on where you are, it might already be Saturday morning. So, with that in mind, we got a lot to get into. Of course, we have what's on the thumbnail. We got to talk about the Batman Part 2. We got to talk about the Penguin Season 2. So, there's all of those things, and of course, the summer of Supergirl continues. So we have to talk about that. Lobo. Jason Momoa has been talking about Wonder Woman. James Gunn has been talking about Supergirl. So lots and lots to get into. John, what are you most excited to talk about? Now you're muted.
See, now we're even. It's perfect. I'm eating pizza. That's
I
why
didn't realize you were
go.
in a muting competition.
I didn't want you guys to hear me chewing. That was the thing. Anyway, but this pizza's good. I had a little bit of Frank Pepe's, if you know, you know.
I'm sure. Dude, Frank. Oh man, I miss Frank Pepe's. I'm gonna get that. I was in New Haven like a week ago.
But yeah, I think I'm excited to talk about probably Supergirl stuff. A little bit of Batman. I don't really like the rumor mill stuff right now. I'm not saying like, it would be a bad thing on what the rumor mill is saying. It's just, it's coming from the trifecta of assholes that I hate. Tom
King? No, it's the other guy. Never mind.
Well, Tom King is part of the trifecta as well. It's the character assassinator, the chode with lips, and the clickbaiter. Those are the trifecta. Try to figure them out.
We
Anyway,
need some graphics around this.
But yeah, I'm excited to talk, anything DC. You know what I'm really excited to talk about, Dan? Really excited to talk about the fucking quick hits, because the Parrot Stucks Pelicans of DC News is really what people love to see. Because we got to talk about
quick hits. I just
the best Robin.
Wanted to pick up the poll. They did this on YouTube, the DC YouTube channel, John. They asked the folks what is their favorite Robin. You had Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne on the list, and turns out,
and then of course all the normies said Dick Grayson because they're normies.
So,
not saying Dick Grayson's bad, but Tim Drake is clearly the superior Robin.
Hey, I actually personally voted for Dick Grayson myself, but hey, you know what? To each their own. To each their own. Let's move on. We got more Ducks, Parrots, Pelicans of DCU news. So
next up,
I saw. Yeah, go ahead.
Lobo. No, you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
My bad.
I was just gonna say, you take over after this, but I was gonna say, like, Jason Momoa talking about Lobo's code. Did you watch this clip? Like, did you watch it all the way through?
I caught a glimpse of it, not the whole thing though.
Yeah. Because, they've been doing, the car wash thing. They're doing a lot of these interviews with podcasts and all influencers and stuff. And this was another one, Jason Momoa talking about Lobo and why he loves the character. He mentioned, like, he loves the code, like this moral code that he has. He does it for money, but, like, it's like he's an anti-hero, but he is still, like, he has principles that he works with, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, kind of like
Obviously,
the rogues of the Flash.
Yeah.
Like how they don't kill women and children. They don't divulge the secret identity of the Flash. They don't kill a speedster. They don't do drugs, like that kind of thing. Because that was a big thing with I think it was Captain. It might have been Captain Boomerang. It might have been somebody else. It might have been Mirror Master who had a drug problem, and they officially kicked him out of the Rogues because it's like we don't deal with that shit. And I love that. Right. Like the Rogues is such like. Maybe a side tangent, but like the Rogues is such a ripe, like honestly, the Rogues themselves could have their own miniseries, like in terms of like live action adaptation, because they're genuinely that interesting. and that like there's so many storylines you could go with that, and like I just want to see them, like they were kind of in the Flash TV show a little bit, but they were never like the Rogues proper, and I'm like they're so ripe for like a great storylines with between them and the Flash family. It's just like I'm like, how the fuck have you not tapped into that yet? Like I know it's like, oh God forbid, you know, we do something that simple, we have to, you know, do the whole thing with the multiverse because Flashpoint is a thing, or you know, got to do New Gods. We can't do Legion of Doom. It's just like, guys, just sometimes you got to make it simple, bro. It works.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was also saying, like, he loves the dreadlocks, the motorcycle, you know, just the foul mouth and stuff, and the chaos. It's just, obviously, this is everything Jason Momoa ever wanted to play, and then some more.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Oh, okay. Enterprising is going away to check out Furious. He's going to be back later. I mean, we'll have Fancast Friday up by that point, probably. So we'll see you there, Enterprising. But thank you for joining us for now. We will talk about Billy D. Williams as well later on, talking about Two-Face with the Batman Part 2. But we have a few more quick hits, John. Let's walk through a few more of those. This I found was interesting.
Apparently, Millie Alcock has revealed that her cape in Supergirl was crafted using the same original fabric as Christopher Reeve's Superman cape. My cape in this film, gotta move that for a second, was remade using materials from the original Superman cape. I think they found 16 meters of that material. It's not so, like, before you, like, get mad or anything, because I know, like, I've seen it go, oh, what do you mean? It's not like they took the cape from the original costume and hacked it up to make her cape. No, it's just the same material. That's it. It's just the material that was used for that cape. They found more of it, and, you know, they're using it for that, and that's it. So, that's cool. Way to go, guys.
Love it. That's really cool, actually.
And she also revealed, similar to Nick Cage, Millie Alcock is also based by saying that her favorite Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield. Because he is the best. Of course it is. Like, I love Tobey Maguire. He's great, but his Spider-Man, his Spider-Man was good. It was good. His Peter Parker was better, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Goated.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. It just goes to show. I mean, obviously, part of it is maybe, well, you can't really say Nick Cage and Millie Alcock are in the same generation, you know, far from it, but it just goes to show you again. I feel like Andrew Garfield's, you know, take on Spider-Man.
No, he just transcends generations. He's that based.
Yeah, but it's also like, I feel like in the moment people were like, oh God, because like everybody had nostalgia glasses for Tobey Maguire's version, didn't want to see anything different. But I'm like, those TASM movies are good. Like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I really enjoyed. I love both of them. I love the second one more than most people, but I think even if you don't think the second one was all that good, it has its moments, you know, it has its hokey moments, and it gets very comic booky at times, which I feel like it's one of those things where in hindsight, you look back at the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and we're now living in a world where we don't just want to see very grounded stuff, or like, you know, some stuff that's over the top hits better today because people are looking for that scape. And you get that with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but there's also like some things that clearly they were trying to set up like future movies that didn't really work out. The first Amazing Spider-Man movie, I think, is overall like a more concise, well-told story, well-rounded, which really gives you, you know, a very different yet very effective and memorable introduction to this new Spider-Man. And then obviously the villain that we saw there, like I grew up watching, you know, that character relationship that he has in the 90s Spider-Man animated show, and just getting to see that in live action was fun. So yeah, and Millie Alcock talking about that, you know, iteration, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man as her favorite, just makes me want to see Supergirl even more. So yeah, I mean, Millie Alcock's a very talented actor, and hopefully she'll be as iconic for Supergirl as Andrew Garfield was for Amazing Spider-Man. So
yeah, and then the final quick hit. Superman 2 star unveils stunning new superhero physique, and oh boy, yeah, okay. To quote the great Ralph Wiggum, I like men now.
You know what? Aaron Pierre is in amazing shape, and I wish I had his body right now. But you know, it takes work, and he's been working. He's ready. I mean, he's gonna be on set at some point because he's a part of the movie.
I'm ready. My body is ready in ways that it shouldn't be ready, but here we are.
I mean, it's a little bit of a stretch to say Superman 2 star because I don't think he's gonna have a big role in the movie, but And it's not even Superman 2. James Gunn has said specifically, this Man of Tomorrow is not a Superman sequel per se. It's a movie that features Superman. I mean, it might be a little bit of semantics, but it's also like, I understand because this is more of an ensemble film. So we're going to see Hawkgirl in it. We're going to see Aaron Pierce, Green Lantern, basically playing Jon Stewart. We know Guy Gardner is likely to show up, and maybe we'll get the rest of the Justice Gang too. So yeah, in Brightest Day and the Blackest Night, hello. Yeah, Monique, thirst trapping is real. I wish Liz was here to talk about this particular quick hit. And MTG is like, I just had a honey butter chips. I wish I hadn't after seeing this. You know what? You and me.
Because I'm thirsty now.
Yeah, when we were playing out the best of the week compilation, I was having some of those chicken quarters because I was hungry. I was having a chicken quarter, and I wish I didn't. And instead I just did some push-ups because that would have helped.
Anyway. Before we turn all the men gay and all the lesbians straight, let's just take this off this, and then we could talk about Batman.
Give me some of that green juice. I'm having Pepsi while I say that. Anyway, let's talk about the Batman Part 2, John.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So Colin Farrell confirms the Batman Part 2 films in 1 week.
Which may not actually be true, given what we're going to talk about next, because, it might just be that he's not showing up on set for a week's time, because today, Matt Reeves popped online and shared the first image from the set of the Batman Part 2. It's our first look at the movie, officially. Again, it becomes more tangible now. They're filming the thing, and, if you can click it in the photo from Twitter, we can zoom into this. It's obviously the slate for the film, and it tells you where they are on the roll. It also tells you a little bit more because this is scene 26 in the movie. They're doing the first take of this. They're on the first roll, so it looks like it's early in their day, but it's scene 26. Obviously, movies are shot out of order, so this might be the first thing or one of the first things they're filming. I love the logo. The logo is the same logo as the first movie. The one thing I will say, though, we were seeing those other iterations, like blue and other color logos on the cameras with the set photos we talked about with the second unit photography team. But the logo here is still red. So it does make you wonder, how this is all going to add up in terms of whether they're changing the look of the logo and the color scheme going from, because there it clearly says Part 2 under the bat. So you got the Batman Part 2. We know now, confirmed, it's going to be Eric Messerschmidt, who's the director of photography for the film. That you see his name on the slate. And yeah, John, this is a 65mm lens. You can see all this other metadata that's on there. And you're reading the t-stop. You've got the the color, the white balance, the shutter speed, frame rate, 24 frames per second. But the big question for fans is, who the hell got killed off and is lying on that examination table? Because
it's probably just some random guy. Because no fucking way would Matt Reeves really post a picture of a major character getting killed. Well, at least we know it's not Jim Gordon because the body's white, so that's something.
It looks like an older gentleman with a bit of a beard kind of a thing, with bald, maybe partly bald, and then a beard goatee situation going on. Kind of scrawny looking.
Charles Dance is partly bald with a little bit of a beard, so.
But I think he's got a broader frame, so I don't imagine that.
He does have a broader frame, but I'm just saying.
No, but this is. It's interesting. Obviously, this is not meant to give away anything important with regard to the movie itself. You know what, MTG, you and I both. Hello, Black Dynamite, saying he's lying down. Well, yeah, you mean the dead body's lying down? Yes. It's pretty obvious. But certainly they're filming this indoors somewhere, obviously some kind of cadaver situation. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than, this is still early goings. They did some stunt rehearsals and some shots in Liverpool. We talked about it when that was happening. They're gonna be back there, I'm sure, doing more stuff like that. And then we'll cover it as it comes. But this is our first official look at the Batman Part 2, scene 26. Let's remember that when the movie comes out, we can look at it and be like, this was scene 26. The number might change if you actually count out the scenes when the movie's out, because in editing they'll get rid of stuff. So that's gonna be interesting, and we'll see how that plays out. But Yeah, John, this is exciting. I don't know. To me, this just means like, look, finally we have gone from, script to actually production. Like it's like when James Gunn shared that slate for the Man of Tomorrow. It's like, okay, now they're in production. Matt Reeves can't. I mean, things can always go wrong, but it just makes it like that much more likely this movie is actually going to be finally coming to a movie theater near us. Hopefully at the release date that they've promised. So there we go. I'm excited about that. But you know what? That's not the only. Actually, that's not the only thing about the Batman 2 that we got to talk about, John. Because there's some more news. I don't know. Actually, you know what? Did I miss this? I'm gonna send you another link because I feel like I was meant to send you this, but I did not. Yeah, I definitely missed it. Hold on. If you see what I just sent you in Slack, because you guys have been talking about it in the chat, and I think we can't not discuss it, which is your favorite insider, Jeff Snyder. He reported some important stuff around, well, who's Brian Tyree Henry playing in the movie, as well as who's Sebastian Stan playing in the movie. And then he talked a little bit about Scarlett Johansson's character as well, potentially. So let's get into that, shall we? Because continuing the conversation, you guys were mentioning in the chat, it would have been nice to see if Billy D. Williams, who previously played Harvey Dent with the Tim Burton movies, if they actually followed it up and had him turn into Two-Face. Well, speaking of Two-Face, John, you know how we've been speculating that Sebastian Stan is going to be Two-Face? Well, it looks like, according to Jeff Snyder, which take with a grain of salt, it's not going to be Sebastian Stan that's playing Two-Face. It's going to be, or Harvey Dent is going to be Brian Tyree Henry. He's going to be, according to Jeff Snyder, he's going to be Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. Now, we don't know, A, if that is 100% true, and B, if we're going to see him become Two-Face in this movie. He might just be Harvey Dent for the duration of the film. Obviously, like Billy D. Williams was back in, Batman 1989. Or was it Batman Returns? I forget which. It was one.
No, it was Batman 89. He didn't show up for 89. Returns.
There you go. So, and then also in the same report, Snyder mentioned that Sebastian Stan is actually going to be playing Victor Zsasz, who, of course, every time he kills somebody, he marks it on his own, on his own body. What's that Christopher Nolan movie with Guy Pearce?
Memento,
yeah. He's he marks the
which is funny because in the background in Batman Begins, you can see a guy who has tally marks on his neck, which I think was a nice wink and a nod to the fact.
Also, they hinted at the Court of Owls, so Victor Zsasz being in this movie would mean definitely the Court of Owls are going to be involved. And to that end, according to Jeff Snyder, one of his sources told him that the Batman Part 2 script features some weird and interesting takes. And while the Victor Zsasz as the villain fits in with everyone telling me the movie is effing crazy, so I guess that would make sense, because if they are bringing the Court of Owls in, there's a lot that's going to be happening in this movie, if this is all true. And then speaking of Scarlett Johansson and Charles Dance, Jeff Snyder said they aren't playing any big names from your usual, Batman universe characters. Instead, they're playing more melds of different characters. So basically, they're probably going to be, an amalgamation of several different characters from the comics, which is something that we saw a lot from the Nolan movies. Does that tell you anything more or less about who they're actually playing? I don't know. But John, do you A, believe everything that Jeff Snyder is saying? And then B,
I don't believe
if you were to take it at face value, how do you react to this? What do you think about, Harvey Dent is going to be Brian Tyree Henry and Victor Zsasz is the main villain Sebastian Stan is going to
portray? I don't believe this at all. I think the only reason that people are saying this is because Sebastian Stan is bald right now. He has a shaved head. And I think, who's a bald Batman villain? Victor Zsasz. That means he's Victor Zsasz now, which is
he did it for another movie,
maybe,
no? Because he, I don't know. I think it was another role that he was.
Because, there's that. So okay, so he's bald. Fine. There's these things called wigs that you could fucking put on him. Or maybe there's just a bald Harvey Dent. Crazy, I know. But and nothing against Brian Tyree Henry. Brian Tyree Henry is an amazing talent. Amazing talent. Could he do the role well if this is the case, which I don't think it is? Absolutely. However, Sebastian Stan is the most perfect casting for Two-Face. So with that, I think I just think this is Jeff Snyder just fucking grasping at straws. I think he's just like, oh yeah. I think he's just like, it's just clickbait crap at this point. That's essentially what it is. Yeah, because Matt Reeves posted it a while ago. But yeah, it's just Sebastian is too perfect for Two-Face. I think he would be amazing for that role. So I don't think that's the case. I think Jeff Snyder's like, oh, hey, Sebastian Stan's bald now. I'm going to create this fucking fake ass story where, like, oh, he's fucking, he's just Victor Zsasz now. When it's like, why would you waste Sebastian Stan on someone like Victor fucking Zsasz? Like, don't get me wrong, Victor Zsasz, he's a fine villain, but, like, having him be such, like, a big role in this movie, I think that would just be, like, that's just ridiculous. That's, like, I don't know, fucking Man-Bat would be a better villain than, you know, having Victor Zsasz be one of your main villains. It's just, you know, it just feels weird to me. I don't, like, here's the thing. The only thing that's maddening about this is the fact that, like, Sebastian Stan is in the movie and, like, oh, somebody else is playing Harvey Dent. That's what pisses me off. It's like, you have Sebastian Stan, fucking use him, utilize him, make him, like, the big part of your movie, make him Harvey Dent, because that would be spectacular. Now, if Sebastian Stan wasn't in the movie and they announced Brian Tyree Henry was Harvey Dent, cool. I'd be like, okay, I think he could do a great job with that. But, like, Sebastian Stan, I feel like he has been fan casted as Two-Face in the past. Like, even before this movie, like, he has been fan casted as Two-Face. I think he could do that fucking extremely well. He would do such a great job with that role. With that, it just feels like a major, like, L to, like, not utilize this actor to his highest degree by making him, like, fucking Victor's, like, Victor, like, he's like a nothing Batman villain. Like, if he was played, by a Brad Dourif, that would be great. Like, someone who's, like, a character actor who could do insane very well. Get, like, you know, they you know, I don't know. I'm just kind of, like, maddening. And then there's, like, fucking shit going on in the chat I don't fucking care about. So, you know, it just, yeah, no one knows who Spider-Man's villain. That's not what we're talking about. I'm just talking about how, if this is true, which, again, I don't fucking think it is, because it's Jeff Snyder and he's a fucking dick. God, we have had David Ellison bullshit. We've had Jeff Snyder bullshit. Now we just need Tom King bullshit to round out the bullshit trifecta to get me mad. Because it's just like, it's just so... It's just when I think Jeff Snyder isn't so fucking bad, he fucking comes in and slaps me across the face with this dog shit. Like, you know, it's... God damn, bro. Like, this shit's fucking mad annoying. Like, if it's like... Here's the thing. As I said before, if it was just, like, we got a report, now from Jeff Snyder, like, Hollywood Reporter, Variety, fucking James Gunn or Matt Reeves themselves, and they're like, Brian Tyree Henry is Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? And Sebastian Stan was never part of the equation, I would be like, awesome. Let's go. Let's see how he can do this. Finally bringing back the black Harvey Dent that we never truly got. I mean, Billy D played him for like 2 seconds in the Lego Batman movie, so I'll give them that. But, like, if that was the case, I'd be like, boom, Brian Tyree Henry, awesome, great, he'll do a fantastic job. But the fact you have Sebastian Stan right there, fucking amazing talent, would be perfect for Harvey Dent, and you're saying, nah, let's make him tally mark guy. Okay, great. Why are you wasting that? Because I don't want to hate this movie, but if this is the case, I'm pissed. And then if this is not the case, I'm still pissed because it's just Jeff Snyder hawking his dog shit like he always is. So, you know, it's just, you know, I don't know. this is all just a maddening fucking thing, and I don't think it's the case. I grain of salt. I don't think it's true, and I'm mad at Jeff Snyder for that. But if it is true, then I'm mad at Matt Reeves because you just wasted like the greatest Harvey Dent you could possibly cast with that. Like, goddamn. Anyway, so, you know, it's just, but like, God damn, Billy D would have been so good. But you know, it just is how it is. Just it's all fucking stupid, and Jeff Snyder can go kick rocks.
Well, look, again, it's a report. It may or may not be true. So I'm more interested in, like, I mean, look, if he's playing Victor Zaz, I bet you he's gonna, you know, make a meal out of that and do a great job at that too. So whichever direction they're going with it, I mean, we know, look, the one thing we know is that both Brian Tyree Henry and of course Sebastian Stan are in the movie. So between that and Scarlett Johansson, they've got one hell of a cast. I feel like we'll be lucky to see how the story plays out, and I'm sure, look, the first movie was so good that I put my trust in Matt Reeves to deliver however long he took to do it, but ultimately I think he's going to give us something that's good. And then you've got all this talent, now you just got to put the pieces together, and given how well he did that in the first movie, I hope that the same will be true for the next one. So yeah, and they're filming now. But you know what, John? Before we move on to talking about Supergirl, we got to talk about the other thing that's on our thumbnail today, which is the Penguin. And well, it's been an up and down, you know, maybe they will, maybe they won't kind of a situation with the Penguin season 2. And the last time we heard about it, it was looking like, I think Channing Dungey, who's the head of Warner Brothers Television, you know, group. So not, well, and then obviously we have heard from Casey Bloys as well, who's head of HBO, talk about like they're looking to ideas, they're gonna want to make it work. Of course, they won't do it if Will Ferrell and well, I'm forgetting her name right now, Christine Milioti are not going to come back, because they are, of course, were the heart of the show. But the last we heard from any of those folks, it was still looking likely that this was still going to continue onwards and that season 2 would happen. However, if you look at this headline in comicmovie.com, and then also, yet again, another report from your favorite insider, Jeff Snyder. So again, take it with a grain of salt. According to him, it looks like, you know, they're no longer moving forward over at HBO and DC Studios with the Penguin season 2. Instead, the show will remain a limited series, which, I mean, they say in this article that it may not necessarily be a bad thing. I just personally think there was a lot more story to tell there, John. I would have liked to see more of that. It's kind of hard to imagine if Zoe Kravitz isn't coming back as Catwoman in the Batman Part 2, unless it's really not relevant to the movie's plot, that she would return to basically play, you know, the strange stepsister to Sophia Falcone in a potential future season. So I don't know. I looked at this and I was a little more disappointed than even the Batman Part 2 stuff, because we know no matter what, Sebastian Stan and Brian Tyree Henry are in the movie. We just don't know who they're playing. And if they are playing somebody we don't think they're, you know, we didn't think they were playing, then, you know, we've never had an official announcement. So, you know, I'll take it as it comes. But when it comes to the Penguin season 2, the first one won Emmys. It won Golden Globes. Colin Farrell, Kristen Milioti. It just, you know, was a step above everything else DC has ever done on television. I think it's the best TV show DC has ever made. And in some ways it might be the best TV show of any comic book genre TV show of all time for me personally. So I'm really disappointed that this might not actually be happening. I know Jeff Snyder said also that they might be working on a grounded Poison Ivy series. We've talked about potential Catwoman spinoffs down the road.
He'd just be saying anything at this point, bro.
I mean, all that aside, like, remember, Jeff Snyder does get things right sometimes, and then other times he says Damson Idris is going to be Jon Stewart and not Aaron Pierre, and the next day...
And literally a day later, he's proven wrong, so...
Yeah, so all that being said, John, I wanted to get your reaction. Like, what do you think about this? Are you looking forward to...
I mean, if it is cool, if it's not cool, like, it's like, it works as a limited series. I would like to see more because I think Lauren LaFranc did an amazing job.
She did.
Give her the keys of the entire Reeves verse because I
But-
think
but
she'd do a
dude,
better job.
She
But,
also has an
like,
overall deal with HBO, so she's there. Like, it's not like she's not part of the picture. Like, they've got her locked
Yeah, no,
down.
I know.
She's gonna be there for a long time. Yeah. So
I mean, yeah.
So you
She
would
did.
think all the pieces are in place, right? But like, let's just say we take this at face value for now, that this is actually the case, that the Penguin Part 2 is maybe not coming together the way they expected. Why do you think that would be? And then also, like, do you think, the Penguin, does that mean the Penguin is gonna have a pretty big role in the upcoming movie? Or maybe even the sequel to the third Batman movie? Because I'm trying to figure out, like, why? Like, why not do another season when the first one was so iconic? Like, why do you think that would be the case?
I mean, it just nailed every aspect, it just did everything right. And I think, it took like a bunch of small time characters that we didn't think we would care about, and they made us care about them. So I really appreciated that. And if it does get continued properly in another miniseries or in a season 2, this one is more small potatoes, I think, in terms of like, oh, it's not happening. I'm like, I could see that. I could see it getting renewed. It's just like, it's gonna be, no matter what we got, it was 2 years ago now, is great. It's gonna be, it is great no matter what. If that continues into a season 2, awesome. If it's just a miniseries, awesome. I'm not gonna complain either way, because no matter what, we still are technically getting more in this universe. We're literally getting a movie. Yeah, sure, it's not gonna focus on the Penguin all that much, but he's still there. And and on top of the fact, the reason I'm a little iffy on whether or not season 2 is not happening, but I can also see, Jordan did say that, Skydance might be a factor. Who knows? We'll see. The reason I think it might happen, and this isn't true, not just because I fucking hate Jeff Snyder, but you have Colin Farrell. He had a very small role in the first movie. Then he gets his own miniseries, and then he has an even smaller role in the sequel. You don't get Colin Farrell, motherfucking Colin Farrell, to just have him in a miniseries and then, like, a couple scenes in a couple movies. Come on. You have Colin Farrell. Fucking use him. You fucking use him, bro. Like, it's just, like, come on, it just feels like it kind of feels like wasted potential if you don't go farther with this. Now, it's entirely possible if there is a part 3, if this does actually happen, Reeves' vision does get completed like 16 years from now, that maybe Penguin is going to be, the...
Dude, Robert Pattinson's going to be in his 60s. Like,
yeah, they're going to finally do Batman Beyond at that point. But... maybe,
no, that's
like,
40 years from now, but
part 3 happens, Penguin becomes the big head honcho there, but it just feels like, you know what, I could see it just being a miniseries. He got his time to shine, cool, great, awesome, but it's like, I got Colin Farrell, like, come on, use him a little bit more, mix the playlist, come on, what are we doing?
Oh, I would love
to
mix the
showing me anyway. But I'm just saying, like, Colin Farrell's too big of a guy to not use him as much, like, to not use him more. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, it is interesting though, because obviously the Penguin was designed as a limited series, and it works on its own because it was meant to fill the gap between the Batman and the Batman Part 2, and it does that. Nobody expected the Batman Part 2 would take so long to happen and be released, which, now they're finally filming it. And we don't know, like, where we'll leave off Penguin. We know that the Penguin is going to be in less of the movie than he was in the first one. Colin Farrell has said that many a times. But, obviously he's still playing a part, and he's still part of the Gotham City underworld, belly in this universe. So, you got the Riddler in jail, you got the Joker in jail, whoever the villain is, whether it's Victor Zsasz or Two-Face or whichever direction, even if Mr. Freeze or something of that nature were to show up. you still have the freaking Penguin basically running the mob. So
Yes.
I mean, I think the idea would be if you are, like you were saying, John, to like have the big payoff with Colin Farrell's Penguin, that would be in the third film. But I wonder like why they can't do another like bridge the gap between season 2 or between the Batman and let's say the Batman Part 3. You could do that, I would imagine, like just do another season of this. Or maybe the idea is like, the Penguin's arc is going to change so much that they're going to want to go in a different direction, and maybe it doesn't make sense to then have a show focused on him. Like, I'm trying to think of it in the positive light that maybe instead of doing like, they were looking at ideas for what to do and they were like, this could work without the Penguin, because we were really focused on Sophia Falcone and Sophia Gigante much more. So I wouldn't mind seeing other spin-offs. Like I feel like having Lon LaFranc on board at HBO and with the overall deal, that's great. And then the other thing I was going to point out, John, remember Colin Farrell was attached to the Sergeant Rock movie, which was put on ice until this summer. Now we haven't heard anything about it, coming back. But if they were to revive that project, then that would probably tie up Colin Farrell for a year, maybe, or a good chunk of the coming, let's say 12 months time, whenever they decide to film it, if again they go through with it or not. So yeah, then maybe they just don't feel like this is essential. Like there's also a scenario where they might be like, it's just, we want to do it, it just is not something that is in the works for us now, it's just not something that makes sense right now, and Matt Reeves is busy filming a movie, so maybe we'll kick the can down the road. Like I all I'm trying to say is, again, Jeff Snyder is not like the final authority on stuff like this, so I would imagine that maybe this is completely untrue, or maybe there's some truth to it, but it's not like they're saying never, they're just saying not right now, which I don't mind, because if he took 4 years to write the second movie, then I'm imagining we'll have to wait another 6 years for the Batman Part 3, so there's plenty of time to fill in between that time, and maybe we can get a Penguin season 2 at that point, or a Sophia Gigante show, or I don't know, like give Zoe Kravitz her own show if she wants it. She did an HBO movie. I'm sure she'd be willing to do a HBO quality TV series that's set in the Batman universe. So yeah, you know what? All that being said, though, we'll have to just wait and find out. And I don't know, John. It is coming from Jeff Snyder, so take it with a grain of salt, as you would say. Let's move on to Supergirl, though. The summer of Supergirl continues. Walk us through this, because yeah, we got a lot of Supergirl talk, including Lobo later on.
Even though this has been known for a while, and people are talking about it because they're dumb, people are asking like, "Hey, how does Supergirl get drunk?" Same thing that was said in the fucking movie, dude. Do you even read, bro? Do you watch, bro? Like, it was in the comic, it was said before, it was in the movie. Red Sun. Why are we talking about this?
James said, like, look, if she's gonna have ear piercing, she probably did it much like, she goes and drinks on a planet with the Red Sun, so that she's as human as the rest of us, and in those moments she could get her ears pierced, have an earring, popped in, and
it's like
it. Simple as that.
How fucking miserable do you have to be like, why does the fictional superpowered character have her ears pierced? I don't fucking know, bro. Fucking think of any reason and use that. Red Sun, kryptonite piercing tool. I don't fucking know. Go out and fucking touch grass. How about that?
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, why is this a fucking story? Why
just,
does James Gunn have to
people
fucking say this?
Obviously, people throw the questions at James Gunn. James Gunn is gracious enough to actually answer them, unlike most filmmakers who don't even bother to respond, which is totally up, they're right to do that. But yeah, I mean, much like, Superman uses heat vision on Earth to shave his face, I mean, he would probably be able to use a normal razor on a planet with a red sun. I mean, the other thing he said, James Gunn did, that Supergirl hadn't even really experienced having powers till she was a teenager, like in her teens, because until she showed up on Earth, we saw that clip when she meets Superman on Earth, she didn't really know she had powers. So Maybe she already had, like, you know, like she was like, to her, having earrings is more normal than not having earrings. You know what I mean? Like having your ears pierced. So that makes all the sense in the world. Sometimes the answers are really, really simple, guys, and you don't need to overthink it or get into like stupid minute.
Well, I
minutia of
mean,
things.
if you're wanting to avoid the grass, don't fuck the grass, because you know that's even worse. But sure, bro.
Yeah. All right. So, but speaking of Supergirl, Lobo, John, Jason Momoa was asked, what about Adria Arjona as Wonder Woman? And well, I'm pretty sure they're still dating unless they broke up. But going off of his answer, Jason Momoa was just like, she's hot. She's hot. You know what? Let's just do a table read of the conversation, John, because this was an interview on Screen Rant. I'll do Screen Rant. You do Jason Momoa. So, or Momoa.
Wonder Woman would be just as great.
I'm rooting for my girl Audrey. I just gotta say,
she's hot.
She's hot.
She's hot.
Yeah.
I tried to do the gravelly thing, but you know,
if you say 3 times, then it must be true, John. It must be true. And you know what? There was no denying it.
If it's said 3 times, she'll show up in your mirror behind you and murder you.
Oh, I hope
that's
not.
the Candyman way.
I'll take the showing up part, but not the murdering part.
No, it's 3 times was Bloody Mary though. 5 times was Candyman. So,
but isn't it true that they're still dating? I mean, I didn't hear anything about
they're
like
still dating.
Up. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so I guess Jason Momoa can get away with saying
people
that.
Are already saying this is confirmed. Like, oh yeah, she's Wonder Woman, and it's like, no, it was just Jason Momoa. It's like, who do you wanna? Like, future DCU characters he thinks he'd vibe with the most or want them to join the alien bounty hunter at the bar during an interview, and he's just saying Wonder Woman would be great. Like, literally, this means nothing. Like, it's, hey, who would Lobo want to hang out with? Wonder Woman. Why? She's hot. Adria Arjona and Wonder Woman, both hot. Yeah. There you go. That's it. That's literally all this means.
So literally what the Screen Rant interviewer asked him was future DCU characters, or the prompt was future DCU characters Jason Momoa thinks he's going to vibe with the most or want them to join the alien bounty hunter at the bar. And to that, he was like, Wonder Woman would be great. Which, of course, him dating Adria Arjona being now cast in the movie Man of Tomorrow without us knowing what role. You could do the math, but also, like, you know, Maxima could be it either. I'm still willing to believe that it may not be Wonder Woman or Maxima. It could be another character. Remember, James Gunn never confirmed, and he explicitly denied, you know, the idea of Maxima and or Wonder Woman at one point, which, I mean, you know, James Gunn has done that before simply to throw us off the scent, but whichever direction they go in, we'll see. I just thought this was funny. I mean, more than anything, it's funny. It doesn't confirm or deny anything, but hello, Eric. How are you doing, man? You're a little late to the show, but that's okay. We still got Fancast Friday to get into. So, but before we do that, John, there is one last thing, and that is, of course, Ana Naguera, who's given some amazing interviews. It comes across as very down to earth, and of course, she was the writer behind the Supergirl movie. And she was asked about, like, well, were there any commonalities between the version of the character that you just wrote for Supergirl coming out this summer and the Sasha Calle version? What did she have to say, John?
She said it's completely different. No, honestly, nothing carried over. Isn't that crazy? It was really brand new. I think the only thing that was helpful was because of all that I knew so much about the character. I knew so much, but even the destruction of Krypton was different. The Woman of Tomorrow comic was really the guiding light. You know, the writer confirmed in a separate interview with comicbook.com, there were so many things she had to cut during the adaptation process, probably the panel of the psychedelic dragon, which I think is really beloved and really gorgeous. So that was challenging. I think that particular panel with her with the red kryptonite and the psychedelic dragon is just like gorge. With, you know, short for gorgeous. Somebody earlier was like, I was wondering if there's going to be dinosaurs. I was like, I was never going to be able to put in the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take a psychedelic dragon though. A psychedelic dragon sounds fun.
Yeah. You just got to read the comics into something movie. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The Sasha Calle version of Supergirl was also, like, even compared to like most iterations of Supergirl, very off the beaten path, and on purpose, because it was this alternate reality version of the character, and she got imprisoned on Earth as soon as she arrived, and blah 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 blah, and therefore Superman never existed because Zod killed him as a baby, which really dark, but so I don't think any of us really expected that to be the case. In fact, even the costume that Sasha Calle wears is very different from any other Supergirl live action or animated costume.
Yeah, she looks more like the Supergirl that was in the alternate reality of Injustice, where it was like they showed I think it was like a dream sequence where they showed a world if Joker never, had Superman hallucinate and kill pregnant Lois Lane, and their daughter had a very similar outfit and a similar look. So yeah, I think that's kind of the vibe they were going for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hey, that's cool. You know what? All that being said, still looking forward to seeing and comparing. I'm sure we'll be comparing how these Supergirls match up. Look, maybe down the road, if they do a crisis event, I'm sure Sasha Calle would be happy to come back in the role. But yeah, guys, go and vote for the Tier List Tuesday poll. It is live on the channel. The link is in the chat. It's in the description of Fancast Friday, which is coming up next. One thing I wanted to bring up, Smacky earlier posted a super chat. Thank you so much for that. His question was, does Supergirl box office numbers, do they actually matter? I'm going to keep it short because we have talked about it before. I think they matter, but for me personally, it's still what matters more is the reception. You need buy-in from the people, and you need the critics to really like the movie. It's kind of like Superman, because this is still the second movie in the DCU. Yes, box office success is important. You don't want this movie to flop on on its face and completely shit the bed. But I also think it doesn't need to be a runaway success. Even if it just barely breaks even, I don't think they'll be looking at it and be like, oh my god, that was a big failure. And you know what? The numbers are looking okay right now, like opening weekend, and then just from there, if the reviews are good, and then when the embargo lifts, the Rotten Tomato scores come out and all that, and you get to see what people are saying about it. The movie is gonna have to stand on its own two legs, and hopefully it will have the legs to get a good box office result. But I think they matter, but not really as much as you might think for a phase 2, phase 3 Marvel movie, or a latter stage DCEU movie, where those movies should have made a lot more money than they did. But I don't know, John, what do you think? Do you think the numbers matter?
I think the numbers definitely matter. It definitely shows hey, is Supergirl viable at the box office? Do you need to change tracking? Do you need to do this? So I think it matters. I do think it definitely matters. So
yeah,
be aware of that, but we'll just have to see if it's a success critical wise. But the money talks. That's the thing, though.
No, it's true. People vote with their wallets, as they say, and I'm just saying it is an important thing, but it is not the thing that it's not the only metric on which the success for this movie is going to be judged. And you know what? There's still hope, because we still have a few weeks for them to drum up the interest level in the movie, and hopefully drive up the opening weekend box office predictions and projections. So with that in mind, we're going to wrap up DCU Daily. Thank you for joining us tonight. Of course, we're not done yet overall for the night, because we do have Fancast Friday coming up. You guys voted, and you chose Travis Knight as a DCU director, so we're making picks for the movies he could direct in the DCU. Of course, he's hot off coming from Masters of the Universe. He did Bumblebee before, and in one of the interviews for Masters of the Universe, he said, yeah, I would love to do a DC movie. DC, call me. Literally his words. So we figured, why not see what movies he might be a good fit for. So we will see you there on Fancast Friday in a few minutes. Until then, if you're not joining us for Fancast Friday, have a great weekend. Hit the like button on your way out. If you're new here, we appreciate a subscribe, because we're here 5 days a week, and we'll be following all the DC Marvel news and all that and so on. So hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. All right, and that does it. See you guys in the next one. Have a good weekend. See you on Fancast Friday.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chorus.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you wanna shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
And remember, fuck Tom King, but especially fuck David Ellison, and especially fuck Jeff Snyder.